the same. Share the love. Embracing the differences like hand in glove. Spread the peace and joy, it's a beautiful sight. Together we shine in each other's light. And now we stand in love's pure mind. Walking the world in love and light. Heartbeat, peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure mind.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Watching the World. Tonight, we're going to be discussing Nolan Wells' case. Well, actually, we're going to take a look at what some of his friends said, the friends of color. I worded it that way so that we can get a high amount of attention on this case tonight, because the other night we had so many trolls. So tonight, we're going to let you be free and live. I know the trolls will be out. But tonight we're going to stay focused, and we're going to take a look and see what the two friends that we know of Nolan's complexion had to say. Now, I don't have a lot of commentary in regards to this, but we're going to probably check out everything that's publicly known. If there's more information that you have, feel free to send it to me via email. So first, we're going to get started with this particular video. And again, we'll pause it at certain points and see what we can glean from this information. So first, we're going to start. I think his name is Javon. Let's see what he had to say. And by the way, hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Your childhood friend. Javon, tell me about your best friend, your childhood friend, Nolan.
Nolan was just a guy that if you were feeling down, he's going to put a smile on your face. He always found a way to make me laugh, even though he was getting on my last nerve. But I always love him, man. Like, that guy was, like, he was a blessing. Like, I mean, like, Nolan literally.
He seems rather convincing, I must say.
Wasn't going somewhere. But I always love him, man. Like, that guy was, like, he was a blessing. Like, I mean, like, Nolan literally did everything with me. Like, if he wasn't going somewhere, I wasn't going somewhere. If I was going, he was going. Like, we were just, like, we were literally like brothers. Like, honestly.
Yeah, he sounds very convincing. He sounds like a guy that was really close friends with him. I don't know why this keeps muting. What do you guys think? Convincing so far? Let's see.
If I was going, he was going. Like, we were just like, we were literally like brothers. Like, honestly, like, we did everything. We talked every day. We could be like, he'll be at college. Obviously, I was still in high school. We'd come back down, still have the same bond. Like, always, we will always have that brotherhood relationship.
What has it been like now in this last week alone?
It's been hard, honestly. Like, it's really stressful. Like, with everything that's been going on, it's just, it doesn't feel real.
He sounds very convincing to me. You could just tell by the way he's reacting along with his words. But again, that's just my opinion.
It just hurts really bad. And I just wish things were differently. Like, it's hard because things don't add up. And I wish I could just, you know, talk to my best friend every day again. And I can't do that anymore. And it just hurts so bad. And I feel like people will just.
Now, from what I understand, it was actually his mother that came to retrieve the cell phone that night. Remember, I believe it was Warren that said they came barging through the door, right? And I think he said it was Javon's mother. Welcome in, everybody. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to try to pay more attention to the comments for this segment, so we're going to get through this, but we're going to try to get as much comments as possible. Shout out to Mustang and John for being here so early. Let's see. John says, we have the chat to ourselves. Okay, very good. All right, Mustaine says, let's get fired up, focused, and prepared. Okay, I know usually I don't get a chance to get to the comments tonight. I'll try to stay focused. John says, why didn't Nolan go home to Horn Island with him instead of Warren? He was at the island too. That's a good question. So why didn't Nolan go with this friend to the island instead of Warren? That's a good question. Jazzy J, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you. Let's get back to it.
On the internet, and it just hurts so bad. And I feel like people will just on the internet just running with narratives that they don't know, saying I was the last to leave him. If I was last to leave Nolan, Nolan would still be with us today. And I think that's something that's been on my mind so much lately, because with everything I've been going through, it's just like, how can y'all blame me for this? Like,
so we're trying to find a place where people are saying, quite frankly, he left Nolan, or he left the island and came back. I guess he, for whatever reason, but when he came back, Nolan was gone. So you can kind of discern from what he's saying that he kind of feels like, hey, I wish I'd have stayed around. Perhaps things could have been differently for his good friend Nolan. So far, this is a pretty good interview.
Know me so much lately, because with everything I've been going through, it's just like, how can y'all blame me for this? Like, that was my brother. Like, y'all don't know me. Like, that was literally my best friend. And it's just so hard, honestly. And I just miss him every day. But I'm also so grateful to have him even as a friend, honestly. He was such a blessing.
All right. So far, so good. Sounds pretty convincing. Now there's another interview. I guess this one is with TMZ. So we're going to check this out and see what's happening. Let's see. How can I get this to play?
Nolan in the video.
I can't tell, it's too far away, but in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear, like from the side. It's too clear for it to be that far away.
Okay, so he's talking about that audio I played the other day where a guy is saying, oh, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me, bro? I'm going to have to pull that up for you guys so you can understand. We're going to try to tie all of this together as much as possible, but I'm going to listen to this first, and then I'll go pull up this video. Now, the interesting thing is Benjamin Crump is saying something about a cell phone in that video. I listened to it time and time again. I didn't hear anything about a cell phone, but I hear somebody saying, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me, bro. F you, so we're going to get to that again. Let's finish this out. Again, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to try to get to as many of the comments as I can. John says, was he closer to Warren than him? That's a good question. Thank you. All right. And Universe says, how many best friends can one have? Exactly. I want you guys to answer this in the chat. We're going to slow walk this tonight. We're going to do 2 phases. How many best friends do you have now? Just put the number in the chat. Okay. Put the number in the chat. How many people do you have that you would say, these are my best friends as of today at the age you are now? Let's see. Okay. Naja said, Naughty Pantry Egg says 2. Okay. You're fortunate to have 2, really. Mustang says 1. Thank you, Mustang. Okay. So far, no big numbers. Naughty Pantry says, my bunny and my aunt. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Alon says, I have only 2 friends. Okay. Thank you very much. Godmind, welcome back. 2 friends, 2 best friends. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see if we get a few more comments rolling in. 2 best friends, 1 for Jazzy J. Now, let me ask you this question. Okay. Thank you for the jewels. Let me ask you this question. How many best friends did you have around 18 or 19? Let's see what you guys have to say about that. 555 Sparta says, good friends versus best friends. That's a good point. Okay. You inverse, okay, says prayers. Okay. All right. So 1, you only had 1 best friend around 18 or 19. Okay. Thank you. So not a lot of best friends, but in this case, a lot of people are identifying themselves as Nolan's best friend. If you've been following this case, how many best friends do you think how many people have come forward so far to say they were Nolan's best friend in this particular case? Let's see who's been paying attention. How many people so far have said that they were Nolan's best friend or Nolan was their best friend? Either way, let's see who's been paying attention. Shout out to uh Jonna Queen. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. All right, 1,000,000. Somebody said 1,000,000. Okay, I don't think so. Okay, 3. Mustang, you seem to be right on point. That's the number I think I was coming to as well. Cassandra says 4. Godmind says 5. Okay, so I would have to really do some digging to get 5. Okay, Mr. says 3. That's old news. Okay. Oh, you're being sarcastic, I would imagine. Thank you. I understand. All right, so let's get back to his words here.
Okay, for it to be Nolan arguing, and then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was
Losing
that
it?
about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like, the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have. I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really?
Okay.
Cops have not talked.
Wow, police have not spoken to him as of to that point. Why do you think that's the case, guys? Mustang John, why do you guys think the police hadn't spoken to him up until that point, right?
Talk to you yet?
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have. I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunherd, it was whenever, you know, the body was discovered, and the autopsy people and the all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised, because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around.
So tell us in the comment section, is it fair to say that he should have been one of the first individuals because he knew Nolan? I'm not saying as a suspect, but to at least question him. If you think so, put a 1, put a 2 for no. Let's see what you guys have to say in regards to this. Number 1, if he should have been spoken to right away because he was a close friend. Okay. I'm not saying as a suspect. Or put a 2 if no. Thank you guys for answering.
Him before his body was found, and I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
You know, did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that.
He seemed like a legitimate friend, I must say. And I think he could have, really told them what Nolan maybe was eating, drinking, what he was doing, his mood that day. Right?
Like this whole case thing, like whatever, like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like it's really hard, like for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up, honestly.
So one of the things that I'm sure, Javon, you've seen has been a big part of this story, people making the point that, at least in the photos that we initially saw, that Nolan was the only African-American kid who was out there, at least on that boat.
Now, let's pause here for a second. When this case first started, were you under the impression that basically he went out with 3 Caucasian boys and didn't come back? Wasn't that the narrative that initially came out in this case? If that was the case for you, put a yes in the chat. Put a no if you heard something different initially, right? Let's see what you guys have to say about that.
Do you think, having
as the case has gone on, we've learned that, listen, it's thousands of people out there, right? And they're in the water. They're right by the boat. A lot of times they're not even on the land, right? John, you can check me on that. Okay, right? So we get mostly yes. But when I first heard about this case, I was in Egypt and I heard that one black boy went out with three white boys and he didn't come back. Um, I find that to be not accurate, right? Just to point it out, let's keep going.
In there on the island with this large group of people.
It appears to be 29 people. I mean, that number is debatable, I would imagine, between three different boats, but I'm saying the initial narrative did not pan out.
That race plays a factor in whatever happened here.
Again, I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer that question. I wouldn't say like. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I find that interesting. He doesn't want to answer. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but he didn't want to talk about race. Understandable, but intriguing though.
I don't want to answer that question. I mean, obviously, we go to Ocean Springs. We're gonna have white friends, so like, that's. I mean, I guess it's pretty normal down here, but
Yeah, I mean, and I hear you. If that's, I
Yeah,
guess you're saying that it's normal. It's not out of
It's amazing how he answered that. You know, he seemed like a very smart guy, but I could tell it seems he has a lot more floating around in his head he probably wanted to say, but who knows?
place to be a black teen in that area and that you have white friends, right? That's
Yeah, like-
not uncommon, is what you're saying.
I'm sure every black person has white friends somewhere, you know. So I wouldn't say that.
So do you guys think that this case initially was about race, or do you think it was made to be about race? So put a 1 in the chat if you think this case was about race from the beginning, or put a 2 if you think that outsiders made it about race. Let's see what you guys have to say. Put a 3 if you don't really care. Let's see. Race or no race from the beginning. Okay. Tell us how you feel. Let me try to get as much going with the comments. Take a pause here a little bit. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Warren called Nolan a friend, but the others he called everybody else his buddy. Okay. All right. I understand that. Okay. All right. John says, I'm sure they got to him eventually, but they probably prioritized the boat friends because that's who the finger was pointed at from day one. Okay. So you're saying that the friends had their fingers, people were saying that they were guilty of something initially. Godmind says, is it my parents out there? Okay. Not sure what that means. Okay. But thank you. All right, Naughty says, well, I don't think law enforcement is investigating to find out what happened to Nolan, but also maybe this kid was not close friends with Nolan. Isn't this a kid Nolan's mom didn't even know? Okay, no, this is a different kid. We're going to get to that other kid of color, right? And not that it makes a big deal. We're not pointing to that for this. We're just listening to that side because I hadn't really covered it all together in one show. So we're going to do that tonight briefly. Okay, let's see. Colo says, who is he talking about that was so mad and they wanted him off the boat? Okay, let's go back and check that out a little bit. Let me see if I can find, I think we were right here.
He was in that altercation that was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him it sounds just like my.
I don't think this person is mad with Nolan, but let's go back for clarity. Guys, hit the like button, share, subscribe.
Clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation is
okay. So in order for us to get some context on that, I need to actually show you. So bear with me. I hadn't planned on showing this. Let me see. I think let me see if I can find it. I'm going to find this video for you guys. Rolling Stones, Crump, I think it is. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Let's see if I can find it for you. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. I think it's here. Hopefully I can find it for you real quick, or maybe not. There's a video that he's referring to, and I showed it the other night, so I have to find it here. See if I can find it for you. Let's see. No, you know what it is? I'm sorry. I know what the problem is. Rolling Stone. I think I have to go. Tristan. Yeah, I think it's this here. Okay, here we go. I think it's here. Nope. Yeah, here we go. So now I have the video. So this is the video he's talking about. I want you guys to pay attention. We're going to listen to this very carefully. You have to listen to what the guy is actually saying. Ben Crump, I believe, used this audio and he was saying something about a phone, if I'm not mistaken, because actually, let me show you guys. I can show you better than I could tell you. So this is the Rolling Stone article. You see what really happened in the last known video of Nolan Wells. It's me yelling. So this is Tristan, and he's saying that he's the one yelling in this audio. I'm going to show you now where that's a little sketchy, right? I'm going to show you why it's a little sketchy. But anyway, Ben Crump is mentioned here because this is the audio, I believe that was, you see right here? It was released on Ben Crump's, I believe this is Instagram, but I know I saw it on the Facebook. Okay. Now, when you check out this video, it says a video is circulating, right? On Horn Island on the 4th of July, where you can hear arguing from a group on the beach. Okay, so we're listening for the argument. Okay, but I want you to pay attention to what's being actually said here. Please, if you do have headphones on, earphones, it would help tremendously. So I'll give you a quick moment to grab your earphones. But I want you to listen to what the person is actually saying here. And before I do that, I want to play what this Javon said again. All right, so we're going to listen to Javon. Then we're going to go listen to this audio that he's actually talking about, okay? So let's try to do this, and I'm going to see if we have any new comments in a moment.
His body was found.
Okay, here we go. Listen.
It's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan.
But is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat.
Okay, so we know Trayson got into an altercation. It sounds like it might be lining up to be him. I'm not totally sure, but when we go to the Rolling Stone article, Trayson, according to the Rolling Stone, he says it's my voice that you actually hear in the audio. So it's starting to sync up together. Now we're going to play that next. I'm tying it all together for you. That's what we do here. I'm using their information tonight. I'm not giving you my opinion or anything of the like, and we're just listening to his friends to see what they have to say in regards to this.
They were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like, the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have.
When we listen to the audio next about Trayson, he's going to actually, I think he's the one that says that he made a slight remark to Nolan about a girl. We're going to hear all that tonight. But keep all of this in mind as we go through, because it actually starts to jibe together. Okay. So we just heard what he had to say about the fight. Now let's just go and listen to the actual audio from the Rolling Stone. Okay. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Okay, hopefully you have your earphones in. Listen carefully to this audio. It's really quick and to the point, so pay close attention. You heard what he said? He said, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me? F you, bro. You hear that? Okay. Now, why would Trayson say that? Right? Trayson didn't want, he never says, when we go through Trayson's interview, I want you to ask yourself this question. Is he asking Nolan to get on the boat? According to Warren, right? According to Warren, he says my buddy was asking Nolan, get the F on the boat. Nolan, get the F on the boat, right? It wasn't Trayson that he was talking about. So there's some sort of discrepancy here, right? Trayson, according to this article, he took responsibility for saying that this is his voice. Okay. but he was asking Nolan to get on the boat. You don't want to get on the effing boat with me? We're going to try to play this again. Let me see if I can back it up. I don't think it allows me to back it up. So just bear with me 1 second. I want to replay this, but I have to refresh the page. So give me 1 second. Now listen to this again. Hopefully do yourself. And John, I know you're going to email me. So I want you guys to really listen to this thoroughly. Okay. Because I know I'm going to hear from some of you in regards to this. So check it out. I'm going to play this again. Listen to what the boy is saying. You don't want to get on the effing boat with me. F you, bro. Check it out. You hear that? You don't want to get on the effing boat with me? F you, bro. You hear that? See? So why is that being said? Remember now, this is the audio that was put out saying somebody was asking for their phone back. But I don't really hear that in this audio. Let's see. Let's play it on. Okay, I'm gonna spin it one more time. Pay close attention. I'm gonna play it one more time. Okay, and then I'm gonna ask you guys, what are you hearing in the audio yourself? Okay, let's see. Okay, we have so many comments coming in. Thank you guys for all your participation. But listen to what he's saying. Do you hear anything about a cell phone? I don't hear anything about a cell phone. I hear you don't want to get on the effing boat with me. F you, bro. Right? So this is a conversation about getting on a boat. Now they're trying to say that this is Nolan in the background. You really can't make out who these individuals are on the beach, right? Right on the shore. You can't really make it out, but I'm intrigued to know who is actually making this statement. Okay, check it out. You heard that? Do you guys hear it? You see that? What is being said here? Let's take a few moments. Put it in the chat what you're hearing. Do you hear what the guy's saying? Did you put on earphones to make a determination? Okay. Perry says, how serious were the fights on the island? They seem to be quite serious, I must say. Deborah says, he said that he had some words with another white kid. Okay. All right. I did pick that up. Let's see. John says, I don't hear that, but even if it's that, couldn't he be telling the person that was fighting with that he doesn't want to get on the boat with him because he's going to light him up? Okay, possibly. But when you tie it together, it just makes you wonder. Evidently, because we have this incident of somebody saying, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me, bro. F you, whatever. But then Warren also says that a guy was telling Nolan, Nolan, get on the effing boat, Nolan, right? So we get a lot of people, or we get multiple people that day trying to tell somebody to get on the effing boat, right? I'm not too sure, but I'm going to just play this out, and then we're going to move on to the next interview. So they slowed this down. Pay attention to the people standing on the sand here. They're trying to say that maybe this is Nolan in the mix here, and they're yelling, this is a supposed fight. Now, this is the actual video. I showed you guys who actually recorded this at the last show. It was a female. I went to Facebook. I showed you what she had to say about it. If you guys want to see it again, put a 7 in the chat. If I get enough 7s, I'll go back and I'll pull up the female that actually recorded this video. She said she actually posted this on her Snapchat at 4:01, and that's how we know when this whole situation was going down. She said that she was so intoxicated she don't really remember. Okay, she she had a vague memory of the day. All right, so let's play it out. So right there, they're trying to say that Nolan would be the guy that appears to be darker complected standing here, appears to have on blue shorts, but it's kind of hard to make it out. Okay, so let's keep moving. So that pretty much covers that. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys. I see we receive a lot of 7s. So let me pull this up for you really quick. Give me one moment. I wasn't planning on doing this, but since you're asking for it, I'm going to try to find it and pull it up for you. Just give me 1 second and I should be able to have that for you. Guys, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. So this is the female that actually... And I don't want to show the actual person. Okay, here we... Ooh. All right, hopefully. Okay, here we go. So this is her Facebook page. I was able to find her. A real person, folks. And she is the individual. You can see here the time that she actually posted the video. Okay, she posted the video on the Snapchat at 4:01. She says, to clarify, I never stated that I saw Nolan. I also never stated that the argument you hear on the video was directed to and or involved Nolan. I simply posted this to see if he was spotted on camera after he was last known sighting at 3 p.m. and stated by law enforcement. The reason this video was posted yesterday, 7/6, is because 98% of the attendees on Horn Island, I was very intoxicated. I did not even realize I had the video in my Snapchat until a friend of mine who was also in attendance mentioned seeing this on my story, and I thought it would be helpful to the public when he was still labeled a missing person. This video was sent to the authorities and his mother before being posted. Please stop with all the rumor mill. Let the investigators do their work. It's very small for me to see it, but we got through it. Thank you. So this is what the actual female that recorded this audio we just watched. This was her statement. I believe it's 2 days, 3 days, 2 days later. So she posted this clarification. And a lot of people on Facebook, from what I could see, they came after her. I actually saw in the comments for this post, you had a lot of the big networks asking her to come on their channels and their networks and give a testimony of what she experienced that day. All right. There's another lady, too. I'll just show you guys this real quick. I went through this the other night. So if you really want to check it out, I was able to dig this up, too. Here's the lady that's on the boat next to... when you're first watching this, I'm going to take you back a little bit. Well, actually, I can't because I'm showing this. Anyway, this is what she says. I won't read it again. I went through this the other night, but she actually breaks down what she witnessed. So you could come back and check this out in your own personal time to see what the second lady said. And she actually commented under the first lady that I just read to you. And this kind of ties it all together. And they both say that they could not verify there was 100% Nolan that was there. Okay, so this was not in the United Cajun Navy's report. I'm not sure why, but I was able to find it. So check it out. All right, now we're going to move on in a continuation of Nolan's friends of color, right? I'm not saying that to bait anybody, but we just want to see what they had to say because most of the focus has been on his white friends. So today we get a chance to see what his friends of color had to say, his black friends. All right, so let's get to it.
It's been hard.
This is on CNN.
Miss Christine, how are you and your family holding up?
A lot of praying, a lot of just leaning on each other in this moment and just taking it day by day. That's really all we can do right now. It's been hard. You know, every day is different. And really every second is different, which is something people need to understand. Grief is not one emotion.
I will say his mother has become quite the activist. I've seen her do a lot of events, and I find it courageous for her to be able to do all of these events and go through such a horrible event in life.
Emotions, and they're all happy. Grief is not one emotion, right? It's multiple emotions, and they're all happening at the same time. And so,
And by the way, this is Laura Coates. I covered Sean Diddy Combs' trial with her. She's from CNN. I don't know why it does that.
I can be okay like this and I can talk about it. And then the next minute I'm breaking down in tears because it's a constant reminder. Because if I'm being honest, we really just have not had time to fully grieve with everything that's going on.
This is your baby, and everyone must understand that. And just day by day, have you been hearing anything from investigators?
Okay, I have to push back.
No, the last time I spoke with an investigator.
Now, for those of you that are saying that the mother is having legal trouble, you would have to produce that legal trouble. Listen, everybody goes through trials and tribulations in life. They have divorces, they have children, all sorts of things happen. So just because there were some troubled times or dealing with custody and all of these rumors, or some of it may be true, I can't really speak on it. The key point here is that her son is missing and turned out to be dead, right? That's a terrible situation for anyone to go through. She's trying to seek justice, and everybody's just trying to point out the flaws of the person. I mean, what is the world coming to, right?
I had reached out to him via text message. That was last Tuesday.
The investigation with her work, that was, I think that investigation came to an end within like 48 hours of the investigation starting. So I think that's already been resolved. If you have some criminal nature or something serious, then send it. But other than that, it's just a floating narrative. Probably doesn't have probably don't amount to a hill of beans, as they say in the South. Thank you.
And I'm breaking down in tears because it's a constant reminder. Because if I'm being honest, we really just have not had time to fully grieve with everything that's going on.
This is your baby, and everyone must understand that. And just day by day, have you been hearing anything from investigators?
No, the last time I spoke with an investigator, it was Major Smith, and I had reached out to him via text message. That was last Tuesday. Other than that, I have not spoken with anyone,
That is
and no one has
agonizing.
reached out.
That is shocking, first of all, but also agonizing to think that has been.
Okay, so some are saying that the boys have accusations against them with no proof. I can understand your position on that. That's pretty similar to what I just said in regards to the mother. I get it. I understand your position. All right, let's see here. I'm going to try to get to some of the comments. Patricia says, also, has any of those on the boat's phones been looked at and their call log, cell phone pings? Okay. I'm not sure how extensively they've looked at these individuals that were with Nolan. But I think in order to do a thorough investigation, you would have to look at everybody that traveled with him, right? How are you going to point out when you don't really know what happened? You would have to look at 29 phones, right? Wouldn't that be reasonable? Critical says that's been resolved about her job. Yes, I spoke about that. Thank you very much for that. Video 777 says what the mother did in the past is not what we are dealing with right now. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the jewels, Purple Flower. Appreciate all your support, guys. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. I think we're low on likes. Okay. Jazzy J says, even when they are the suspects, they are still the victim. They always get the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to get John. John says, I understand she is grieving, and I can't imagine what she is going through, but I believe she has been, incentivized to keep this going and not to take any answer because there's a lot of money. Okay. Thank you. Deborah says, who was the white woman on the boat from distress boat call recording? That person or the female voice has not been identified. Let me put it up. Let me just drop the facts on you. I'm going to show you in the boat there were two females. This is the actual video. I wasn't planning on playing this tonight, but I'm going to try to find it for you. Give me 1 second. Notice in this video, there's two females. This is the video Officer Tatum put out to show that the boat was actually towed out.
I was given this video, and here's a video of the.
Okay, so this is the video. I want you guys to pay attention. I was planning on checking this out. Is this a still photo or is this an actual video? I don't see anybody it's only 6 seconds. I don't see anyone moving. It's a 6-second video. Wouldn't somebody be moving? So I forgot to really take a look at this. I have to write a note to myself. But I want to show you at the beginning of the boat here, there's a female bent over here. Okay, but when I go back, there's another female. Let me show you. You see the female sitting right here at the nose of the boat? So there's two females for the person that just questioned about one. There's actually two. And there appears to be 5 on the boat. 7 on the boat altogether. Okay, 7 individuals. And they're being towed by Bart, according to Officer Tatum. Here's the thing. We don't get a chance to see Bart's boat. So it's hard to make a clear determination of where and who, what, when, where, the total group of individuals involved. So it would be nice to have seen the second boat that was towing them to see if there was anyone on the boat. If Nolan was on the boat, I guess that's the big question that everybody's asking. Let me let this play out.
Because I was given this video, and here's a video of the actual boat as they're getting towed out. Do you see Nolan on this boat whatsoever? Now, I did this so we can get context.
Now, I want to make this clear, right? And I want to make it clear, we're not accusing anybody of anything when it comes to what happened to Nolan. We don't have any suspects mentioned by the local authorities, although we wonder, right? So we're not pushing a narrative saying the whole group or some whatever, right? We're letting the justice system take its course. But here's the argument, and this is why Officer Tatum's argument, it really sucks, okay? It sucks. You know why? Number one, the boat that's towing them, we don't get the opportunity to see if Nolan is on the second boat, okay? That's a real strong argument. Also, when it comes, if you want to look at it from every angle, who's to say Nolan wasn't already thrown overboard? I mean, I'm just saying you can't. There's so many different arguments people are making that are good arguments, right? This picture alone would not suffice to just give you the ultimate answer about what it depends on timing. There's some discrepancy with the clothes being worn. So people are asking, is this even the same day? Okay, these are just all legitimate questions, right? Okay, but Tatum has made this to be law. Oh, that this is the boat right here. And no, we don't have enough information. Where's the metadata? Okay, where's the metadata to show us that it actually, in order for this to be in court, right? We've learned from Candace Kelly, who was a law professor, and also criminal defense attorney Calvin Johnson. Oh, by the way, we have a new attorney coming on tomorrow night. He has a different perspective. John is going to really like this attorney. He has the opposite perspective probably of anyone else that you've seen on the channel. So it'll be interesting as to why he feels that there's no charges coming down the pipeline for the friend. So here at Watching the World, we want to have both sides. We want to get everybody's opinion and look at this at a very high level. So I'm intrigued to know how he's going to lay this out tomorrow at 8 p.m. But he's a new attorney out of Florida. I will be posting who he is a little bit later, but I'm going to put out the actual thumbnail so you guys can be surprised. But he's amazing. I'm looking forward to it. We also have a pathologist coming on this week. We have a high-ranking murder investigator out of Georgia coming on this week. So we're going to start having many more guests who perform at a high level that you typically see on Nancy Grace, they're going to be on Watching the World. So you see what I'm saying? We're gonna have some sharp people coming through. You're gonna love it. Anyway, getting back to this, and I'm going to be asking them about this information too. When you look at this,
Of the
doesn't it look like a still photo that they're trying to make it seem like a video? What do you guys think, right? What does this look like, a video or a still frame that they're just rotating? Let's see.
actual boat as they're getting towed out.
No, I think I saw movement. Okay. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Anyway, so this right here shows that there were two females on the boat. That's what we wanted to show by putting this up. Let's go back to this other video. We're going to check out in this video, Javon and his mother are interviewed together. I don't know if the mother speaks, but we're going to get a chance to see how that plays out. So let's check it out. And guys, hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
I want to come to you because I mean, you're his friend.
And I had reached out to him via text message. That was last Tuesday. Other than that, I have not spoken with anyone.
Okay, so maybe I'm not crazy. It looks like a still photo. A lot of people are saying that looked like a still photo. So I'll have to go back and check it out. We have some sharp people here. Shout out to Sophie's World. You guys missed a great show. If you weren't here for Sophie's World, she did a nice breakdown earlier about multiple sclerosis and how she was able to be cured of it, or at least to be, in permanent remission, I believe is the proper term, or something close to that. A beautiful discussion. Make sure you go back and check it out. Give us your opinion. She's amazing, and she was able to give us some inspiring hope and some encouraging words that I find to be quite amazing, to say the least. Okay, so let's get back to it.
That is shocking, first of all, but also agonizing to think that that has been that much time having passed. I mean, Javon, I want to come to you because I mean, you're his friend. You were on the island on the 4th. You were on a different boat. Do you recall seeing him at all that day?
Yes, ma'am. I did see him when I was out there on the island.
Can you tell me what you saw? Does anything seem strange to you about the difference that people are saying of how he was separated from the group?
No, ma'am. I don't think that Nolan would say, "Hey, bro, I'm staying with this girl on the island. Y'all go ahead and go back," without even bringing it, like not even asking to get his phone back.
Okay, so here's another friend saying, listen, I don't think Nolan would have just said, hey, I'm staying behind with a girl on the island and not getting his phone. What do you guys have to say about that? Keep in mind, I've been showing you time and time again that according to the New York Post, Katie, her sister Gracie, came forward, and she basically said that Katie said, listen, I was under the impression that Nolan was going to get back on the boat with his friends. Okay, so now we have their perspective is that Nolan was going to leave with his pals. And now you have this gentleman here that's Nolan's good friend. And he's saying that that's not how Nolan operates. What do you think about that, right? Let's talk about it.
I don't think that any of that say, "Hey, we're on the island."
Can you tell me what you saw? Does anything seem strange to you about the difference that people are saying of how he was separated from the group?
No, ma'am. I don't think that Nolan would say, "Hey, bro, I'm staying with this girl on the island. Y'all go ahead and go back," without.
Okay, so all of the individuals that tend to think that Nolan did not get back on the boat, what do you think about this close friend of Nolan saying that this would have been out of his character? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you can get a comment or two in really quick, I would take some moments to make sure I get through your comments. But to me, there's trouble in paradise based on what he's saying, because it appears that something is not jiving, right? Thank you, Sophie. She said, get the likes up. Thank you very much. All right, let's see if we have anybody talking about this. Okay, let's see. Perry says, it's his opinion, and somewhere who knew him well and can relate to being in his position with no phone on the island. Okay, good point. Okay, Emperor says, please like, share, subscribe. All right, thank you. Here comes John. John says, I don't think Nolan considers him a best friend. Why would he choose to go with regular friends when he can go with his super friend? Okay. All right. Thank you. Robert says that friend don't know, especially he was away with the white girl and alcohol is involved. Okay. Seeking Truth says we don't know about Nolan. No one does. You have people claiming to be friends with two different perspectives. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it, guys. Hit the like button, share, subscribe.
Get his phone back. You know what I mean?
Separated from the group?
No, ma'am. I don't think that Nolan would say, "Hey, bro, I'm staying with this girl on the island. Y'all go ahead and go back," without even bringing it, like not even asking to get his phone back. You know what I mean? I don't think that any of that.
What makes you
Did you hear that? Not even asking to get his phone back. So that's two issues. He don't think Nolan would stay behind. And then he says not even getting his phone back. That's two things that are out of sync with what he knows about Nolan as being his close friend.
because I mean, obviously you've been with him, you spent a lot of time with him. Did you know him to be someone to leave his phone or even say, "You guys go without me"?
Never. I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends leave. He's always been a guy where if he rode with you, he's going to come back with you. That's always how he's been every single time.
You know, this friend of his, Trayston, also told ABC that video people have been talking.
He said that's how it's always been every single time. So my question to you guys is, what made this time different? Why did Nolan choose to stay behind on the island and not even bother to take his phone with him? What was so special? The girls say, listen, as far as we know, he was supposed to get back on the boat with his friends. The girls don't come back and say, listen, about 15 minutes after the boat took off, we had a drink with Nolan, or we went and had a walk on the beach, or we swam. None of that, right? So where's this issue at? How do you fill in this missing gap? How do you fill in the missing Nolan, right? Who ultimately turned up dead, right? What do you guys have to say about this? It's very important, right?
It was said to show some sort of altercation. It did not involve Nolan. He says it was actually him yelling in the video and that you and a family member were holding him back because he'd been in a fight. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. We were calming Trayston down in that video where he said, "Give me my effing phone back." It sounds like him. So
Okay, so he's saying in the video, he's saying, give me my effing phone back. We listened to the audio, and I would advise you to go listen to it on your own. The guy's saying something different. It's not, I don't believe he's saying, give me my effing phone back. He's saying, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me, bro? F you, bro. That's what he's saying, right? So I think there's some hearsay floating around and people are confused, but go check out that video and make sure you have your earphones in and you're going to see the discrepancy here. I'm going to back this up a little bit and we're going to take a look at, listen again. Check it out.
Go without me?
never. I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends leave. He's always been a guy where if he rode with you, he's going to come back with you. That's always how he's been every single time.
You know, this friend of his, Trayston, also told ABC that video people have been talking about that was said to show some sort of altercation. It did not involve Nolan. He says it was actually him yelling in the video and that you and a family member were holding him back because he'd been in a fight. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. We were calming Trayston down in that video where he said, "Give me my effing phone back." It sounds like him. So I'm
Okay, guys. So I want to do this for you. I was planning on doing this a different night of the week, but you guys are really rocking with me. I don't think we're going to get all the way through this tonight, but I want to show you guys something that's probably quite interesting to say the least. Let's see if I can find it. All right. So I'm going to show you something that I find to be a big issue in regards to this case. I want you to pay close attention. I think this is a different spin. We're going to go back to this audio that they're talking about, right? We're going to listen to that audio, but I'm also going to ask you to look at some people that are on the boat. Okay, I want you to pay attention to the people on the boat. Let's play the video. Let's see, that's not what we want. Okay, let's see if I can get this to play. Okay, so it's making me watch it again on Instagram. Give me 1 second. I don't want to do that. Give me 1 second, and we're going to try to play it. All right, so let's see if I can get this to play. Give me 1 moment, guys. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to get it to play. Okay, so let's see. Let's get it back here. All right. Okay, so I need everybody's undivided attention if you really want to you have to be able to capture what I'm telling you right now. Okay, I want you guys to look at this guy that's on this boat. Okay, it's very important. You're going to see how this all comes together. Everybody that follows this channel, you know how I do this, right? So, right, you with me? Everybody's with me. Notice the color of this boy's legs. Okay, notice the color of his legs. Notice his shorts. And notice his top, right? And also notice his hands. Okay. You guys see that? Okay. All right. Now we're gonna pan around. You have to be able to capture this. This boy, pay attention to what he has on and his color. All right. We're not bullying anybody or anything, but can somebody just identify what color you think this boy is that's right here at the back of this boat? It's very important. You're going to see why in a moment, but I want you guys to just tell me what is your perception of this guy? That's this boy that's standing in the back of this boat. Does he look like a black boy? Does he look like a white boy? What do you think? What do you think of this? Let's see what you guys think. Okay, what do you think about this guy here? Okay, it's all gonna come together. Okay. Okay, he's a white guy. Okay. All right. So okay. You have him down, right? You have his color. Okay, now you see here you have a guy standing with a hat on, right? He has on what, green shorts. Okay. You guys see this guy? It's very important, okay? Okay, now you see this female with a white hat on. She appears to be a white lady, and she's standing next to a male, right? You guys are with me? You see these two individuals? Okay. And you saw that the boy in the back of the boat was white, right? You guys are with me? Is anybody with me? Put a yes in the chat if you're with me so far. Let me know you're still here. All right. Because what I'm about to show you, you're going to have to understand this to understand what the girl is saying. Okay. So you guys understand. All right. So now we're going to take a break from this, and I'm going to tie this all together for you right now. Watch this. You're not going to believe this, right? Check this out. First off, you remember what the boys said about Trayston, right? Okay, Trayston got into it. Trayston is saying that's his voice, right? Trayston, we're going to hear him next, but Trayston says that that's his voice on the video. In fact, before we do that, I don't want to make this confused. Yeah, so anyway, let's not make it confusing, okay? We'll go back to it later. So watch this. This girl, I just read what she said, right? She talked about, she's the one that actually took this video. She's standing on this boat and she's recording her surroundings, and she says that she's, 98% of the people, the attendees, are intoxicated, right? So she's taking this video. She took it at 4:01. Are you guys with me? She took it at 4:01. Now check this out. This is where somebody's not telling the truth. Check it out. Look now, check out. This is the girl, this lady here, right? This is where it gets exciting to me. Let me take this down. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. We may not be able to get through all of this tonight. I'll try. So listen, you see this? Oh, I have to go back. I'm sorry. Let me add this back here. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, so you see this white lady and the guy standing next to, this is supposedly her that I'm about to read. Okay, I want you to notice what she's saying. This is supposedly her. that's on Facebook giving that post that I'm about to read. Check this out. Notice what she says. It's hard for me to read. It's so small, but I'll get through it. She says, okay, she said, you can see me and my husband standing in the back of the boat. Now, that photo I just showed you, I'm going to show you that's the back of the boat. So we're going to go away from this. We're going to go back. You see how this is the back of the boat? This is the rear. I know it looks like they're at the front of the boat, but they're actually standing at the back of this boat. You follow? So far we're matching up. She's going to mention this boy that I pointed out to you. It's a white boy, right? She's going to mention it in this write-up. And this is everybody, according to what we're hearing, it was supposed to be Trayston that was fighting, which was a mixed boy, right? He's probably similar, a little lighter than me, but he's not a white boy, right? So let's pay attention to this right here. Check this out. You ain't going to believe it. Okay, check out what she says. She said, you can see me and my husband standing in the back of the boat in the video, right? I just showed you she was standing in the back of the boat with the white hat. She says the person yelling is someone in our boat, right? And she says, who was a mixed guy, by the way. Well, how is he a mixed guy? We saw the guy standing in the back of the boat. She says, not that race matters, but to a lot of people around this case, it does. Also, the guy yelling is also a part of a friend group Nolan was with and had been around them all day. But the guy was yelling because he got into a fight with a white guy, right? And we broke it up and put him in our boat. So is she saying that they put the white guy in their boat? Okay. She says he was pissed because he wanted to fight and we wouldn't let him. Two other white kids ended up fighting the original fight starter white guy, but the video is taken after the fight was already over, and the DMR, which is basically the water police, also showed up shortly after. Video was 4:01. I remember seeing the video. Then she mentions a girl name that I just showed you that took the video, the story, and told her to look through the footage. We saw someone resembling Nolan in the background. He was not involved in any way with the actual altercation that happened. We were just trying to help with the timeline altercation that happened. We were just trying to help with the timeline of things and possible documented sightings. Since it was originally stated that he was last seen at 3 p.m., but the video is at 4. We weren't 100% it was him, though. It could also help if it was him to identify who was potentially with him. So you see how this is shaping up? So now that I've laid this out for you, now we're going to go back and listen to the friend, and you're going to see, watch it. Well, we got to find the friend. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. There's so many videos. Okay, so now we're going to go back and listen to the friend. Now that I've laid this out for you from the two eyewitnesses who are females, she says that she's her husband. Her and her husband are standing in the back of the boat. There's a white boy in the back of the. You see what she said, right? All right, now we're going to go back.
Do you see Nolan on this boat?
Let's see. Let me go back here. Remove and add. Okay, so now listen to him again. We're going to listen to him again now.
I'll go ahead and go back without even
at all that day? That much time having passed. I mean, Javon, I want to come to you because, I mean, you're his friend. You were on the island on the 4th. You were on a different boat. Do you recall seeing him at all that day?
Yes, ma'am. I did see him when I was out there on the island.
Can you tell me what you saw? Does anything seem strange to you about the difference that people are saying of how he was separated from the group?
No, ma'am. I don't think that Nolan would say, hey, bro, I'm staying with this girl on the island. Y'all go ahead and go back without even bringing it, like not even asking to get his phone back. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think that any of that.
What makes you so sure about that? Because I mean, obviously you've been with him, you've spent a lot of time with him. Did you know him to be someone to leave his phone or even say, you guys go without me?
Never. I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends leave. He's always been a guy where if he rode with you, he's going to come back with you. That's always how he's been every single time.
You know, this friend of his, Trayston, also told ABC that that video people have been talking about that was said to show some sort of altercation, it did not involve Nolan. He said it was actually him yelling in the video and that you and a family member were holding him back because he'd been in a fight. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. We were calming Trayston down in that video where he said, "Give me my effing phone back." It sounds
In the video, the guy says, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me. F you, bro. That's what the guy's saying. Check it out in your spare time. We can't go through this forever. Anyway, let's now here's the key part. I want you guys to match up with what I just showed you, right? This is crazy.
Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. We were calming Trayston down in that video where he said, "Give me my effing phone back." It sounds like him, so I'm pretty sure that he was right on that. But
Javon, I'm so sorry to think about what you must be going through and thinking about what's happened to Nolan. I mean, you mentioned a phone. Tashima, a huge question so many people have is why he would have left his cell phone behind. And you say you were the person who actually went and retrieved that phone for the family. How'd you get your hands on the phone? Where was it?
That is correct. Christine called me and told me, "Hey, where are the boys? Nolan hasn't been heard from since such and such time. Where are your boys?" I said, "Well, Javon is with his girlfriend, and I just spoke with Jalen, and they are headed to downtown," which I was literally getting ready to get in the shower to go downtown as well.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Well, Nolan hasn't been." So I instantly called with Christine on the phone, Javon. Javon said no, he hadn't seen Nolan
Mm-hmm.
since early on the island. And he was like, "What? Are y'all serious?" We was like, "Yes." And so Christine intervened in the conversation and said, "Nolan has not have been heard from since he left the island." So Javon was like, "Well, that's when I seen it. I haven't seen it since then." Again, everybody go their separate ways. So I then hang up from Javon because obviously there's nothing he can say to tell me anything. So then Jalen, I call him.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen did not answer the phone. Christine again is on the phone. Jalen did not answer the phone. LeBaron, I called, he didn't answer the phone. I called LeBaron, which is their other friend, LeBaron Broomfield. He answered. He said, "Jalen is in the gas station. Hold on." So he said, "Hey, Jalen, Mom on the phone." So he was like, Jalen, like, "What's up, Mom? What's going on?" I was like, "Hey, have y'all heard from Nolan?" They said, "No, we have not heard from Nolan."
But where was the phone?
So I was like, "Well, okay." So that's when we started checking the phone. Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of.
All right, guys. So the phone showed two different places. Why was that the case? Right? Something weird happening with the phone that maybe it could be explained, but the mother was able to track the phone because nobody reached out to her, to really pin down where the phone was. She could track where the phone was, but on the Snapchat, the phone was stuck out in the middle of nowhere in the sea, right? We went over that the other day. Okay, we went over that. Let's see if I can pull that up for you really quick. Okay, let me play this for you, and then we're going to come back to this, right? I hate to keep going back and forth all over the place, but I'm trying to tie all of this together. This is what we do over here, right? I see my regular people here, so obviously they know how it goes around here. All right, so check this out. Notice what she just said. Before I play this for you, right? I want you guys to pay it. I want you to hear what she said one more time, okay? Check this out. The phone, Nolan's phone, is showing in two different places. I was able to track the mother's explain the friend's mother explaining about what happened when her son tried to Snapchat Nolan. The phone was showing in the middle of the sea. But anyway, let's get to this here real quick. All right. I want to play this again, then I want to play the audio from the mother.
On the phone. So he was like, Jalen, like, "What's up, Mom? What's going on?" I was like, "Hey, have y'all heard from Nolan?" They said, "No, we have not heard from Nolan."
But where was the phone?
So I was like, "Well, okay." So that's when we started checking the phone. Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them On Snapchat, it showed another place.
All right, so the phone is showing two different places, but the mother was able to track it, obviously, because she was able to find it. So let me play this for you so you can hear what the mother of one of the boys had to say in regards to this matter. Let's go.
Here's the weird thing.
Guys, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. It takes a lot to do this, a lot of information. It just takes a lot. So thank you. But can we get the likes up, share, subscribe to the channel? We do this every night pretty much. Also, News at Noon is usually about the news and politics, and we do deep dives at night. Let's go.
Here's the weird thing to me. This is what stands out to me the most. When we found out that Nolan was missing, my son immediately snapped him, and then Christine messaged him back and said, "I have Nolan's phone now." This was at 12:53, according to the screenshot that I have. This was at 1:53 in the morning.
Okay, so you heard what she just said, right? This is 1 something in the morning, 53:43. This is the part you have to know. Nolan went missing on July the 4th. The mother was able to find out, I guess, through Warren about he's missing. The mother then, I guess, sends over Javon's mother. They go over at 12:30 to retrieve Nolan's phone, okay, from the boys. I believe they got it from Wyatt's house, if I'm not mistaken. So now she's telling you what happened. Now Christine gets the phone back. Now this mother, I don't know her name, right? I won't put her name out there. She's explaining that after Christine gets the phone back, her son Snapchats Nolan at around 1:43, 1:53. We're going to listen to her again, and then listen to what she points out.
I have Nolan's phone now. This was at son immediately snapped him, and then Christine messaged him back and said, "I have Nolan's phone now." This was at 12:53, according to the screenshot that I have. This was at 1:53 in the morning. Okay. So he, for whatever reason, I don't know if he was gonna, I don't know why he took the screenshot, to be honest with you. I think it was maybe even a God thing. But he took a screenshot of Nolan's location on Snapchat because they shared locations with each other. And on that screenshot, it shows Nolan basically in the middle of the Gulf, like right off of Horn Island. It said that he had been at that location for 13 hours, which would make sense if you just back up that timeline. That would make sense around the time that they would have arrived at the island. But what was weird was that his location didn't change. It said that he...
So before we go further, the question is, was Nolan's phone cut off? Did its battery die on the way to the island? Is this the reason why the mother says that there's no messages, so she's assuming they were deleted? You see how this is all starting to come together now, right?
He was last active an hour prior to that.
Maybe it lost reception, not sure, but according to everybody else, you could still have at least one bar on the island. So that doesn't seem totally right, but who knows?
And my son, I think it said it was like 53 minutes that 53 minutes prior to that my son had sent him a snap. So why the location didn't change is odd.
See that? Okay, so that ties to what the mother, I'm tying it all together for you. Okay, again, I want to make it very clear. We don't know what happened per se, but we're definitely covering it in every way. Believe that. So let's go back now. I'm going to show you again what the mother is saying so you can now See, I like to go back so you guys can tie it all together, right? Okay, let's check it out. Now I'm going to back this up and let you hear what the mother says. Check it out.
Are you serious? It was like, yes. And so Christine intervened in the conversation, said, Nolan has not have been heard from since he left the island. So Javon was like, well, that's when I seen it. I haven't seen it since then. Again, everybody goes their separate ways. So I then hang up from Javon because obviously there's nothing he can say to tell me anything. So then Jalen, I call him.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen did not answer the phone. Christine again is on the phone. Jalen did not answer the phone. LeBaron, I called. He didn't answer the phone. I called LeBaron, which is their other friend, LeBaron Broomfield. He answered. He said, Jalen is in the gas station. Hold on. So he said, hey, Jalen, Mom on the phone. So he's like, Jalen, like, what's up, Mom? What's going on? I was like, hey, have y'all heard from Nolan? They said, no, we have not heard from Nolan.
But where was the phone?
So I was like, well, okay. So that's when we started checking the phone. Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that.
Okay, guys. So tell us in the comment section. I see some people really going in. So let me take a moment and let's deal with the comments. Take your moment now and state your claim and tell me what your issue is. In fact, I'm going to drop the link. If you want to come up and say your piece, all you have to do is come on up. It's all right. It'll be all over in the morning. It's all right. All right. So here we go. There's the link for you. If you want to join the discussion, feel free to come up. If you're in your vertical chat on your cell phone, you have to go into to the horizontal stream. There's two streams going. So go into the horizontal stream, click on the link, and come in and state your claim. I'll give you a minute, and you could just add to the discussion. We're just going through and putting together and listening to what his friends are saying. So there you have it. Feel free to come up. Let's see here. Somebody said Warren lied, period. Okay, thank you, Stack of Facts. Okay, thank you. And again, guys, let me make sure I have the link here if you want to come up and join the discussion. John says, I see a press conference in the near future that's going to answer every question we have. Okay, that would be awesome. I will look forward to that. UN Verse says, why didn't she ask, did you see Nolan leave the island? Good question. Sophie says, thank you, Empress. Okay, thank you. Perry says, that wouldn't explain his location moving to where his phone was, though. Good point. Patricia says, phone has a reserve for battery, and even if it's dead, still can transmit data. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, Empress. John says horizontal is where it's at. Okay, thank you, John, for steering everybody there. Mashona, thank you for all you're doing. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, let's get back to it. I don't see any comments in regards to this, so we're going to keep moving. Let's go.
Checking the phone. Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of people there. Like I'm not familiar with all the kids. I only know like one there, but it showed that the phone was at what a lot of people were at. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting there, lights off, watching TV.
Did they immediately give you the phone?
Now, keep in mind, Warren said that Jay's mother just came barging through the door. You see how all this is kind of matching up? So this is the mother that came to retrieve the phone, and she just came in the door, right? So it's amazing to see how a lot of this is just coming together. We were able to find I was able to find the mother of the son, and she says, hey, the phone is stuck on Snapchat in the middle of the sea. There's been a couple guys there. I think it's Lunatic and someone else that was explaining why the Snapchat. I'm not hip on that. So you guys, if you could just put in the chat right now or come up and explain to us, what is this reason why his phone would have been stuck in the middle of the sea in accordance to Snapchat? I will give you the floor if you want to come up. Stack of Facts says, how did Warren know that Nolan was missing What made him notice Nolan, then doesn't look for him? Okay, thank you very much for that. Great questions. Tracy says, so that means Snapchat got deleted in the sea. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a powerful question. All right. That's a powerful question, right? But we'll have to see. Perry says, lights off watching TV after a day of partying and drinking. What time was it at? It was at 12:30 a.m. on December the 5th. It was the day after the 4th. Okay. I remember that. Critical says, because that's where he was. Okay, Diana says they use his fingerprint and face recognition to open his phone and delete. Oh, wow. Okay. Critical says at some point, okay, we're getting different theories here. SSG says, I have a strong feeling Bart did it. Something. Okay, well, so far we can't really pin it on anybody. Musk G says, and it's what's crazy is these lawsuits are flying heavy based on these type of concepts. So I would just say go easy because people are watching. All right. Muskogee says, if it was an accident, Darren, why all the lies? Why would the state of Mississippi seal the autopsy? Okay. Thank you very much. That's a good question. All right. We have to keep moving. There's just so much to carry. Let me keep going here, guys. Thank you.
There, like it was. I'm not familiar with all the kids. I only know like one there, but it showed that the phones at what a lot of people were at. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting there, lights off, watching TV.
Did they immediately give you the phone? Because knowing that phone was there.
It took about 15. They did. They gave me the phone, but it took about 15 minutes to get the phone. Because I even asked, I'm like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone? Or like where?
That's a great question. Y'all had to walk. That's a question my grandmother would ask. You had to walk all the way back to the town to get it. You know what I mean? It's like something just not jiving, guys. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. She's asking a good question there, right? It took them 15 minutes to go get the phone. Let's see if we get some indication as to where the phone was. And again, thank you guys very much.
Like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone? Or like, where's the phone? Because it took so long when they said it was when Wyatt told me it was in his truck. It took him so long to get the phone back to me.
Okay, so the phone was in Wyatt's truck and it took him so long to get the phone back to her. All right, so there you have it, folks. Now, this is what I could find in regards to Jalen. But now we're going to take a look at the other guy. So let's check this out and hit the like button, share, and subscribe. I don't want to play probably too much of this, but we're going to play a certain measure. Just give me one moment to get this pulled up.
To find your way, sometimes you have to pave it yourself. Part of the Honda Trail Sport lineup.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
Okay, so we're going to get started with Trayston now. And we're going to see what he can add to this whole situation. Let's check it out. This is a friend that goes by the name of Trayston.
No.
Do you have personal knowledge of someone directly in your friend group having anything to do with Nolan's death?
No, not at all.
So I saw you on television.
And great work for Officer Tatum for getting us this valuable information. We wouldn't have had any of this if it wasn't for him interviewing these guys. We have a whole chest of valuable information to put together and come to a reasonable conclusion about what could have happened. All right, let's check it out.
Television, you had an interview, and I felt like you laid out a few things that I think the world needs to know and be clear about.
Okay.
And the first one is the relationship that you had with Nolan. Can you explain your relationship with Nolan?
Yeah, I will. So his mom got on TV, as everybody has seen, and said that she didn't know me. And man, that
Christine says she didn't know this guy. Wow, that's interesting, right? Okay. Now this is the gentleman that I've shown you in the video. He's supposedly the one. He said this was his voice when I showed you that audio where he said, get the F on the boat, whatever. Others are saying, give me my effing phone. I don't hear that. I hear, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me? F you, bro. So we can debate about that. But this is supposedly him. Remember when I read to you the write-up, the girl said that the guy was mixed. Let me put it back up for you guys right here. You see what she says? She says, you can see, let me make sure you can see. Yeah. She says, you can see me and my husband standing in the back of the boat in the video. The person yelling is someone in our boat who was a mixed guy, by the way. You see that? So that matches up. He's a mixed guy. You see how we're doing the work, right? Okay, here we go. Let's get back to it. Thank you guys very much.
That can't be farthest from the truth. Me and Nolan, I met Nolan in 9th grade in a second block class. It was math. He was one of the first guys I made friends with. It was somebody I made a connection to, like off rip. He was an athlete. I could tell.
Okay, some are saying that his body language, Sophie says his body language is very defensive with arms crossed. Okay, thank you for your comment. Thanks for pointing that out.
He was an athlete. When I walked into class, we sat really close to each other. And all he did, he turned around and asked me for a pencil when I first met him in 9th grade when I moved to Ocean Springs. Man, it was tough. And the relationship there has always been best friend in my eyes. I never wanted to take away how close somebody else was with Nolan, but Nolan was my best friend. That was a guy.
Okay, Wanda says that's the boy that was fighting. That's correct. He's going to talk about that in this video.
I knew I could call at any point in time. He called me at 11 o'clock on the 4th to see where I was parked at. Man, me and Nolan have countless nights of him giving me advice on my girlfriend, on my life.
Okay, so Nolan called him at 11 o'clock on the 4th, okay? So if you have your white sheet of paper, you want to write that down, right? How many of you have your white sheet of paper? I know John Mitchell has his white sheet of paper. If you have your white sheet of paper, put a 1 in the chat. Let's see who's following along.
In general, Nolan has been the only friend, and I love my friends and my best friends in this group of guys, but Nolan has been the only person that ever tell me, like, he's proud of what I've done. He's proud of how hard I worked. He's proud of me going overseas to go play ball. That was my guy. Like, that was my best friend.
Europe river cruising, 13 days, $29.99, including flights with holiday.
Yeah, and so how does it make you feel when the media, activists are coming out and alluding to the fact that you may have something to do with what happened to Nolan on that day?
Man, that hurts. It hurts is an understatement. I beat myself up every night I lay down. Beat myself up anytime it crosses my mind. Because in my head, if I wasn't drinking, if I didn't get into that altercation, maybe I would be able to do something. Maybe I would have saw something.
All right, so he admits that he was the one in the altercation, right? You guys catch that? Did you write that in your notebook? Let's see how many people. Oh, we got a few people that are taking notes. That's good. Lori's in the building, New Jersey. And oh, look at all the people that are taking notes. Man, you guys are amazing. See, now it becomes very valuable what I do here. I feel like doing it more. Thank you.
Maybe I would have told Nolan, hey, man, you're not going with that girl.
And the reason why I'm getting commercials shown is because I'm logged into my wrong email account. So I'm going to have to switch it so we don't keep getting these stupid commercials. Give me a second. I'm going to go until we get another commercial.
Girl, just come back with us. We're going back a little bit later. We can go meet up with the guys later. Maybe it just plays out different. And then the fact that they're going to play that is I'm already trying to mourn my friend's death as is, and I'm blaming myself for it. To put that in my head is a next level of hurt that can't be truly explained.
Well, he said they put it in his head, right? That's interesting.
Because it's hard to put into words. Generally, it's backstabbing from a sense of a community that I thought I had with my skin color, and they stay so strong together. And I'm supposed to be one of them, but I come up and
Wait a minute now. Oh, wait a minute. What is he saying here? Hold on. Let's go back a little bit. I got to get this one here. Wait a minute.
Sense of a community that I thought I had with my skin color, and you know, they stay so strong together, and I'm supposed to be one of them, but I come up and I speak, and now I'm the person to blame. Now I'm not dark enough for them.
Oh, okay. So he's saying the black folks are turning their back on him. All right, I get it.
I'm not black enough for them.
Oh,
And now I'm the issue. It doesn't make sense. In my head, it doesn't make sense.
Was Nolan? I mean, obviously you were in a friend group, but the way the media makes it seem is that almost as if Nolan was the only black person in this whole friend group. Now they don't even mention you. They don't bring you up in this whole thing when it comes to, you know, what happened on at Horn Island. So what's your take on Nolan being, you know, presented as like the only black kid in a group of all these white boys?
That's crazy, man. I know we've spoken a little bit, but that friend group that I'm a part of to this day was the first friend group I was in when I moved to Ocean Springs as a new kid coming in. I never knew any of them. I known one kind of, sort of, back from grade school because we went to the same private school together. But that was it.
so I want to tell you guys this really quick, right? Officer Tatum, according to his own words, because I pretty much follow everything, and shout out to Officer Tatum. I mean, that's very valuable work that he did going to the island, getting information. See, before he did this, all we thought or what we heard is that Nolan went with 3 white boys to the island and he didn't come back, right? But see, Officer Tatum gave us context. I know a lot of people don't like him, right? But he has a lot of people that do like him. But the point of the matter is, it sheds a lot of light on this case, right? It helps us to navigate, to get somewhat of a understanding about it. Officer Tatum makes a good point. He says that he was interviewing Warren, and this fella just happened to be there. That's the way they made it seem. So he's like, well, let me interview you while you're here. You see how this is working? So then he interviews him. So it's almost like it's impromptu based on what Officer Tatum says in a different video. I'll try to show you guys that tomorrow.
That was it. And him being the only black person, minority, any of that measure is insane. Our friend group is diverse from the max. Like, we have a mixed guy. I mean, we had Nolan in our friend group. There's an Asian a part of our friend group. There's a
Now keep in mind, there's 29 people that came on 3 boats. Okay, now watch what he's saying. 29 people came on 3 boats. There's thousands of people on the island. It's hard to pull out the mixture. Check it out.
Latino that they're trying to perceive as white. He's truly authentic Mexican. His parents are from Mexico. They came over legally and they did everything right.
Now I went out and I tried to find all the guys of color that have spoken about it. Basically, you have 2. Unless I'm missing somebody, there isn't a lot of people, right? Nolan can't speak anymore. Then you have the other 2 guys, right? And he wasn't even on their boat. And then the other guy, he wasn't on their boat. So Nolan was the only black guy from what we can understand, or mixed guy, whatever way you want to slice it, among the 3 boats. Okay, so there is some credence to what people are saying. Maybe instead of saying that Nolan went to an island with 3 white boys, they should say he went to an island with 28 white people. You know, so, I mean, this is what we're hearing, right? We don't have any other person that's come forward that was actually on those 3 boats out of the 29 that said, hey, I'm a black person too. Let me tell you my story. Nolan was my best friend. We don't have that, right?
And he's been here since. Man, there's a Latino that they're trying to perceive as white. I never knew any of them. I known one kind of, sort of, back from grade school because we went to the same private school together. But that was it. And him being the only black person, minority, any of that measure is insane. Our friend group is diverse from the max. Like, we have a mixed guy. I mean, we had Nolan in our friend group. There's an agent a part of our friend group. There's a.
See how hard it is? It's just not a lot. It's just the truth. It's just not a lot of mixture there amongst the people that came together.
There's a Latino that they're trying to perceive as white. He's truly authentic Mexican. His parents are from Mexico. They came over legally and they did everything right.
We're asking about black folks, not Latino. Yeah, we're asking about black folks, man.
And he's been here since. It blows my mind because our friend group is not a friend group that sees race. Our friend group sees what good you do for other people, what good you bring, and how the type of person you truly are and where your morals lie. That's one thing in common. Me and my friends might not agree on everything, but our morals align. Our morals know. So for them to even make that narrative up really shows you have no idea.
I want to ask you guys a question. Have you ever had, how many friends have you had that your morals align? I mean, so let's do it two ways. Okay, let's take a break from this. I'm getting a headache from this craziness. How many friends do you have right now in your life that your morals align with? Let's see. Let's see how many. Put the number in the chat really quick. We got to keep moving, but we're going to do this experiment. How many friends you have? He said his friends, their morals are aligned. Okay, so let's see. Can somebody tell us how many friends you have that their morals are just so tightly together? Let's see. Anybody? A few? Okay, Sophie's has a few. Okay. All right, John says, I have friends of all morals on and both sides. Okay, what does the both sides mean, John? Okay, Empress says very few. Kathy says maybe he meant loyal. Okay, all right, I'll take that. Seeking the Truth says all of them. Okay, H2 says it's unspoken. Taylor says 0. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Thank you guys for your comments.
Yeah, what it's like down here on the coast. You have no idea how tight-knit Ocean Springs as a community is. You don't understand it. You don't see the thousands of kids in the high school football stands cheering their team on. Nobody cares what color you are. We're there to have fun and to just live. And that's how Nolan lived. That's how I live now.
Okay, so here's the moment for everybody to be honest. How many of you guys honestly do not care about color? Don't come in here and start lying, okay? Don't come in here and start lying. If you care about color, right? Most people don't want to say it, right? But if you do care about color, put a 1 in the chat. And you may not talk about it, but subconsciously, do you care about color in your day to day when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the gas pump? Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you care about color. Put a 2 if you don't. Put a 3 if you just haven't really thought about it. Okay, so most people are saying what? Let's see. Okay, some say they don't care about color. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm trying to get it. Okay, most people say they don't care about color. They don't care about color. Okay. All right. Okay, I think we have more that don't care. Well, I guess let's see here. We have more that don't care about color. So on the day to day, they don't focus on that. That's beautiful. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going.
I've grown up and I have more big boy stuff, but in high school, all I cared about was going to hang out with my guys. And I mean, on a personal level that leads off of it, it's like.
Patrick says, 1, it matters how much you move. Okay, good point. Thank you. Especially people in the military, they tend to travel a lot. The kids are raised and they see so many different people. I grew up in the South and it was only black and white back in those days. I probably sound like a really old guy, but yeah. And then in the summertime where I grew up at, we had people from Mexico coming to pick tobacco. That's just how it was. From the small town that I was in Virginia, I came to New York. I'm like, wait a minute, a whole different ball game, right?
Got me in trouble with my girlfriend just because I wanted to be with the guys. I never once thought, man, they look at me different. Man, I'm kind of an outcast to them. No, All their moms have always welcomed me with open arms. Anytime I needed anything, I knew I could call them and their parents, and they would do anything in the world for me. So with Crump pushing this narrative, it's wrong.
Yeah,
It's completely wrong, especially about our friend group.
Okay, so he's already has Crump on his mind, and he's answering about Crump. This is more of a response and trying to correct the narrative, right? You notice that? Okay. So he's already talked about the black folk and how they're just, in so many words, out of pocket. And now he's talking about Crump. We're gonna go back and listen to a little bit of that.
No. All their moms have always welcomed me with open arms. Anytime I needed anything, I knew I could call them and their parents, and they would do anything in the world for me. So with Crump pushing this narrative, it's wrong.
Yeah, Crump is pushing the narrative is wrong. You see that?
Yeah,
It's completely wrong, especially about our friend group.
Yeah, I find it, especially after talking to you, meeting some of the guys.
A lot of people feel that way, by the way. So, everybody's entitled to their perception.
That it seems like there was an agenda. But can you walk us through just your perspective from that day? I don't know if did you go with them initially? Were you a part of the group that went to Horn Island?
So I wasn't, no, clear that up. No, I was not on the boat with them. Yes, I was a part of the group that was supposed to go out. So the only reason why I did not go on the boat.
He was a part of the group that was supposed to go out, but didn't go out? That's weird. Supposed to go out. What does that mean?
That it seems like there was an agenda. But can you walk us through just your perspective from that day? I don't know if did you go with them initially? Were you a part of the group that went to Horn Island?
Guys, hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
So
hit the hearts if you don't mind. Keep us in the algorithm.
I wasn't, no, clear that up. No, I was not on the boat with them. Yes, I was a part of the group that was supposed to go out. So the only reason why I did not go on the boat is I was offered, I got begged to go, but my uncle, we also took 12 people out on our boat, not including us two, so 14. And my uncle knows the
So he had 14 on his boat. Okay, they took out 12, him and his uncle.
Passengers wouldn't have helped. Generally wouldn't have helped with anything. With that many people on a boat, you need a little bit of help. So my uncle was like, hey, can you just ride out with me and you can go do your thing throughout the day on the island? I don't care. I don't need you. I just need help to get out there and then pick everything up. Because I know all these people are going to be drunk and they're not going to want to do the extras that nobody sees about going out on the boat, right? And so I told Wyatt that, and oops, my bad. But I told him, I told him that, and I told him everything, which was go to plan. We were leaving a little bit earlier than them. I was gonna try to have a spot saved out, and Nolan calls me at 11 o'clock. I missed his phone call. Called me twice. I missed both of them. I saw Wyatt and Nolan on the boat. They pulled right in front of our boat, and they were screaming. I turned my head and I was like, yo, there's a spot over there, where they end up anchoring out. I helped them set their stern.
So he confirmed that basically Nolan came in with Wyatt, which is synonymous with what Warren said. They came in on a Triton, so we're jiving.
Anchor. From the time they showed up until now, going back to it, 20 minutes before they left, I was with them. That's who I was with. I spent all day with them, minus the morning time before they got out there. But from the time they got out there to the time they went back in.
I'm going to have to go look for him in the photos. I don't recall seeing him, right? Even on the boat where the girl said a mixed guy, right? That guy in the back of the boat wasn't mixed. He was a white guy, right? Do you see him in any of these photos? He was with Nolan up until 20 minutes before all of this occurred, before I guess they left.
I was with them. Those are my friends, man. Those are my guys.
Yeah, I want to get a few more details.
I'm sorry about that.
I know that. Yeah, go ahead. I know that you were all over the news because there was a perceived fight. People, this is the thing that gets me, and I want to clarify this. When I saw the video that they put out on the internet claiming that Nolan was saying, "Give me my effing phone back," the coach came out, Nolan's coach came out and said immediately he knew it wasn't Nolan's voice. And obviously,
That's the audio that I showed you the video, remember, right? Okay. You guys, if you want to see that again or whatever, you just have to tell me in the chat if you need another spin of that, but we're going to keep moving for now.
it wasn't Nolan's voice because you were the one
that was me yelling,
in there yelling. You got into an altercation.
See, that's him yelling in that audio. He says that's him yelling, okay? And I showed you guys what the lady said that was in the boat with her and her husband next to them, and they said they put the boy that was yelling on the back of their boat, and it turns out that he was a white boy. He wasn't a mixed, he was arguing with a mixed boy, so maybe you're hearing him from the ground level or the water level. We don't know.
With somebody. What happened after that? Like, put me in your place where the fight is over.
It makes more sense, right? And I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. It makes more sense what the lady said on Facebook. She says they put the boy on their boat. In the back of the boat, you see a white boy, right? Okay. And so if the boy is saying, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me, F you, bro. It sounds like it's the white boy saying that, because when I look at the other comments, people, they actually said that if you watch him when the words are saying, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me, he's actually moving. It would make sense that the white guy is telling Trayston here, you don't want to get on the the effing boat with me, right? So what the girl says on her Facebook post actually makes sense, right? Let me pull this up for you. We're gonna be here all night if I keep doing this. But anyway, all right. See here, she says, let me take this down. Give me 1 second. You see here, she says, you can see me and my husband standing in the back of the boat, and I showed you that in the video. The person yelling is someone on the boat. Okay, that's the white boy in the back. He's the one yelling. It's not him. It's not Trayson yelling, but he says it's him yelling, right? This is what, and listen, I can pull up this female now right on Facebook. These posts are still up. These people are real people. You can see they're professional. Their Facebooks go back for 10, 12 years. It's not like they came up with a bogus Facebook. But anyway, she says, the person yelling is someone in our boat. See, it's the white guy yelling, not Trayson, according to what she's saying, who was a mixed guy, by the way. So that's but now look at here, she's saying that it's a mixed guy. But in the back of the boat is clearly, let me show you guys. I'll show you guys that again. It says, not that race matters, but to a lot of people around this case, it does. Also, the guy yelling is also part of the friend group Nolan was with. Okay, so that sounds like it could be Trayson, because he's a part of the group, right? And had been around them all day. Okay, so that makes sense. So apparently the guy in the back of the boat is fighting with Trayson, but it doesn't seem that Trayson is the guy that's in the back of the boat. I'm just going to take this down and show you guys really quick again. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me try to pull this up. I want to make this point. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this one more time. And I'm going to stop it and show you exactly who we're talking about. And notice I'm going to show you the female that's talking in that exchange. And I'm going to show you the guy that she's talking about. Definitely not Trayson, but it's probably the guy that's yelling. It's very confusing. But anyway, let's check it out one more time. Okay, let's see. Let me take this down. Here we go. All right, here you go. Here's the video. See, that's the boy in the back of the boat. Okay, I mean, on the boat, okay? You could tell that was the front of the boat here. This boy is the boy on the boat with her. And she said, this is me and my husband standing in the back of the boat, right? So the only issue is when you look at the boy, I'm going to spin it back real quick. When you look at that boy, it's not Tristan. You see, he's toward the front of the boat, okay? That's definitely not Tristan. Look at his complexion. She says he's mixed. I don't know if I don't see mixed, but anyway, I could be wrong. Who knows? I'm not gonna harp on that, but that doesn't look like a mixed boy to me. Okay, now we're gonna take a look at her. According to the post, right? Now we can't 100% say it's without a shadow of a doubt, but she says that's her and her husband. You could tell that this is the back of the boat. You see that? The first girl I showed you in the post, she's the one recording this, right? I showed you that earlier in this show. If you just came in, you can go back and check it out. She records this at 4:01. We went through her Facebook post. Now you're going to hear what the boy is yelling. Check it out. He said, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me? He says, F you, bro. You see that? But you can check that out in your spare time. Let's get back to this. I don't want to be here all day. Just give me one quick moment. We're going to get back to the actual video. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's get back to it.
Whatever happened, happened. Nolan is somewhere, you're somewhere, you're hanging out. And when was the last time that you saw Nolan before you left Horn Island?
So after
I just want to ask you guys a question. When I showed you the guy in the back of the boat, does he look mixed to you? I mean, I know we can't, nobody's a scientist pulling out anything to confirm, but does it seem like this was Tristan in the back of the boat, or in the front of the boat, rather? The guy that they put on the boat, or does it seem like a mixed guy? Put a 1 in the chat if you think yes. Put a 2 if it's no. Okay, Carolyn says no. Thank you very much. Right? Something just doesn't. This case is so confusing. Thank you to the individuals that are saying no. Thank you. Right? So you guys see what I'm talking about. What he's saying doesn't match what she's saying. It's just very confusing.
the fight, I didn't stay on Horror Island much longer. So the objective.
Because think about it. The boy is saying, you don't want to get on that effing boat with me. F you, bro. Right? If it was Tristan should be the guy in the back of the boat, according to her testimony in the Facebook post that we have. All right. But in the boat, you actually see there's a white fella, it appears to be, on the boat, and you can see him holding the pillars there, and it looks like he could be talking, but we don't know for sure. Let's keep going.
So I was really upset. So with you hearing me yelling, my uncle had told me to get on the boat and wouldn't let me back off the boat. Obviously, I was really mad and I wanted to fight, wanted to get off. What wasn't smart, man. Yeah. And so I was on the boat, I'm yelling, and shortly after that, I left the island. I left probably 30 to 45 minutes after I got into a fight. We started to pack up and left because I was so upset. As Javon mentions, that they were ready to get me back to land because I wasn't really mad. I was genuinely really mad. But the last time I saw Nolan, I was walking.
So he's actually responding to what Javon said, and Javon is the individual that we spent most of the show listening to his words. So you see, they're jiving these stories together, but it's clear that he's matching up to what Javon said.
To the boat. This was before the fight. It's me and my old lady. We had just got out of a group of people. Nolan was walking towards Wyatt's boat. I was walking in the opposite direction towards my boat. And I dabbed Nolan up. I made a slick comment about something.
I just want to go back and get the time frame. Let's go back a little bit.
As Javon mentions, that they were ready to get me back to land because I wasn't really mad. I was genuinely really mad. But the last time I saw Nolan, I was walking to the boat. This was before the fight. It's me and my old lady. We had just got out of a group of people. Nolan was walking towards Wyatt's boat. I was walking in the opposite direction towards my boat. And I dabbed Nolan up. I made a slick comment about something, actually about the girl that he was with. I made a slick comment to him, us joking around, and I kept going. And not even 10 minutes after that is when I got into a fight.
Tile Survive has to be one of the most relaxing and comforting games of 2026. There's no pressure and it's super easy to play. You don't need to stay online all day, and there's no endless grinding either. Just hop in whenever you feel like it. Collect some material.
Okay.
I do.
Give me 1 second. I need to solve this issue really quick. Give me 1 second. I need to log in a different account here. Okay, here we go. And
He did ask me for my permission on it.
okay, here we go. No more commercials. I'm in the right account now. Thank you very much. Give me 1 second, guys.
And I gave it to him to an extent. I changed up some stuff and that he initially didn't change when he came out with it. And then the voice recording, know this, man, like you have no idea. And what I thought was crazy lie from the beginning was he's the only black person on the boat. He's the only black person on the island. No, not at all. Like, not once. Like, where'd you get this background information from?
How many people are on that island from your vantage point?
On the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Thousands? 13 miles? Like, I mean, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of boats that are carrying minimum 4 to 8, 9 people. Like, I'm talking like on the lower end, man. We're talking about smaller vessels here. Man, if I had to take a rough estimate in my area of the island that I was in, 400, 500 people easy. If I'm taking an actual estimate, about 400 to 500 people easy. In our group, in the group of, I would say, young adults that were in the group of Nolan Wells, 100, 150, 200 people.
So the idea that Nolan went out with 4 white boys and they took him to a deserted island and he was allegedly last seen with a girl and they just abandoned him. What do you say to that?
That's no. From the time they left, including myself, and also when I left the island, I could have named 50 people I really trust behind the helm of a boat that Nolan knew, that he could go talk to. Even if he was left, there was.
Guys, hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Keep hitting the hearts if you don't mind.
There was tons and tons of people out there. There was 10 boats that camped out at Horn Island. I know a boat that didn't leave Horn Island until 8 o'clock that night. Nobody would have ever seen, take that back, nobody would have ever left somebody on Horn Island. That's a place of everybody loves to go and hang out. That's their peace. Nobody wants to see anybody out there, especially in the boating community. And I can speak on that, like, genuinely. I grew up in it. That's absurd. It's absurd.
So can you help me understand the fight a little better? Because I interviewed Warren, who's your friend, and he had made mention that his brother was involved in the fight. So can you explain who actually started fighting, and were you fighting his brother or were you fighting somebody else? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, and I can see now, especially, it's all been blown out of proportion. But so originally, I'll go back a couple steps. Original, me and my girlfriend, I wouldn't even call it an argument. She was upset that I lost the lid to her koozie. I dropped it in the water. Generally speaking, that's how it started. And I dropped her new koozie in the water. And so she started,
You guys have a koozie. Tell us if you have one.
let me hear it and basically told me I was paying for it. And she was really upset with me and mad about it. And I needed to kind of sober up a little bit. And so we're walking back. And during that time, this guy that I'm not friends with, I know of him. I don't know him. I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight. He butted himself into my conversation and basically was telling me how I needed to handle or address the situation with my girlfriend. And man, we weren't even yelling at each other. We weren't arguing. It was more along the lines of, I literally told her, I was like, man, I just want a beer. And she was like, well, go get one, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I said that, she had ducked her head underwater and he had walked up and he told me that I needed to watch how I talked to my girlfriend. And
Wow.
I looked at him and I told him, I was like, this has nothing to do with you. We're good. This has nothing to do with you. And he sat there and he was like, well, I'm going to tell you, I better not hear it again. And I looked at him and I was like, you need to excuse yourself from the situation. And after I came out, he swung. He threw the first punch. And we went back and forth. I remember at one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle.
You guys ever heard that song? And we were kung fu fighting.
And my uncle's yelling at me to get in the boat.
Oh,
I stopped fighting. As soon as me and him made eye contact, I got in the boat. I'm sorry. And I listened to my uncle.
And what was Warren's brother involvement in this?
And so I was getting there. So when I'm on the boat and they're trying to cool me down, I'm trying to get back off the boat. So I see the crowd forming up on the island. Well, my little brother and Carter are like really good friends, like best friends, I would say.
Okay, so did you guys notice that? Here's a point I didn't know before. He said a crowd was gathering on the island. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. We got to go back again. I hate to do it to you, but we got to do it. Give me 1 second. Check this out. Notice how the crowd is gathering on the island in this video. It's lining up for 4:01. Remember, okay, so it's coming together. He said that he left, 20 minutes before they did. They left at 4:30. So that would make sense. Okay, the crowd is gathering on the island. Check this out. Oh, Lord. Here we go. I got to go through this again. Let me go back. Okay, here we go. Check this out. We got to start it over. But as we go through this, I want you guys to listen to what the boy says, right? Nothing about a cell phone, but he does say, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me. Check it out. All right, so you see on the island, you have a little crowd here. Okay, that makes sense. He said crowd on the island. Look at the crowd on the island. So, see that? That's matching up to what he's saying. Okay, it's starting to all come together and make sense. Now listen out to what the boy says. Probably this boy that's on the back of that boat, right? Check it out. Yeah, you don't want to get on the effing boat with me? F you, bro. You see that? So it's jiving together. We just don't know where Trayson is, but apparently it sounds like, because look how close that boy is on the boat next to him. So what the lady is saying actually seems to be jiving right here. You see this? Go back and read it in your spare time. I don't want to keep going over and over again. Okay, so there you have it. Check it out in your spare time. This is the other lady who took the actual video that we just watched. You can check her out, but at 4:01 is when she actually took this video and she posted it right on to Snapchat. So there you go. It all jives together. A lot of people are really not covering, but we have it. Let's keep going. All right, we're gonna I want to go back to Officer Tatum here. Did we lose him? Oh God, let's see here. Oh, here we go. I have to find it here. Give me 1 second, guys. Here. All right, here we go. Well, maybe not. Okay, here we go.
He's over at our house all the time. Carter heard him still talking crap as he's getting out of the water, and I'm on the boat, and the situation is like done and over with, right? Well, he sees him talking crap, so Carter gets up, and more along the lines of defending me. And for what? He was like, well, if you got a problem with Tristan, we can handle it right here.
So what's the racial breakup of these people that are involved? So the guy that you fought was
white.
White.
I'm the only black guy involved in this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
And at all. Like, I mean, I don't know. Carter.
Yes, he was put on his uncle's boat. So that goes with the story of the lady said that she was on that boat with her husband and the guy that was on the back, the white fella, right? So obviously that's not the boat that he was on. We saw what that guy looks like. But he's supposedly on the boat with his uncle. That's what he gave a testimony, or that's what his statement was in this interview.
Carter is white. The dude I got in a fight with is white.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only black guy involved with this. My girlfriend's white. My uncle's white. There was no other black guy involved. And I know Ben Crump tried to run with a story saying I was Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was like, nice try, but there was another black guy.
So him and Warren, which I'm not knocking, I would probably do the same thing. They're actually responding to a lot when it comes to, they have talking points. Okay. It's very clear. They seem to have talking points and they're trying to refute a lot of Ben Crump's scenarios. Okay.
On the island. So now your whole narrative needs to change again.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that was Carter's involvement. And that was kind of it. Like after the fight, man, I remember getting off the boat. I got off the boat and I walked up to the island. And I was telling people, I was like, hey, like, I just need to cool off. Like, let me be. This is after everything is dispersed. There was no crowd anymore when I walked off the boat. And I was like, let me be. Well, again, my uncle yelled at me and I was like, I don't care what you're doing. Get back on the boat. We're leaving.
See,
so
right here.
I got back on the boat and we left shortly after that.
Uncle made him get back on the boat. See, that's what we just discussed. Right here we go.
And well, at least I know you from the interviews that you've done. Some of the other boys haven't spoken out at all.
Yeah.
You've had a chance to use your voice to put the truth out there. You did an interview with, I think, ABC, and you also did an interview with the Rolling Stones.
That was my first interview, yeah, with Rolling Stones.
The first interview was Rolling Stones, then ABC?
And then ABC, yes.
Now,
so tomorrow night we'll go through ABC and the Rolling Stone to see what he actually said. We'll compare notes, okay? So I'll make a note of that, and we'll cover that for Monday night at 8 p.m. if you guys want to come back. Tomorrow, News at Noon is at noon Eastern Standard Time.
From what you told me before this interview is that the Rolling Stones gave you a very fair interview. It seemed like the young lady who interviewed you articulated very clearly what you told her with no fluff, no nothing added.
And she cared. She really did care. And she made sure that what she was telling was the complete truth behind everything with me, with my uncle, and then also fact checking on her side as being in media.
She told the complete truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, right? She must be noble.
And it all aligned, man. And when they came out with that, it was really genuine. When I felt that, it brought me to tears because it was like, that's the truth. That's exactly how it needed to be worded. And I appreciated her. I appreciated her a lot. And we took her out to Horn Island this morning to do another little bit. But she's done well, and that's the truth. Her story is nothing but the truth.
Now,
so help me God.
ABC, on the other hand, did they treat you fairly, or how did that go?
So I don't want to say they treated me unfairly. The quotes that he used in the article, he did ask me for my permission on it. And I gave it to him to an extent. I changed up some stuff and that he initially didn't change when he came out with it. And then the voice recording, that's really what gets me, because that's what the main people.
He's had his arms folded the whole time. This might be his comfort stand, sitting arrangement. I'm not sure.
Or listening to, right? They're not going in and reading in depth in the article and really seeing everything. They're just going off of, well, what's on TV, because people don't like to read these days. But how they made that and cut a lot of my voice sounded horrible. Sounded bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like that side of it, but it already aired, so what was I going to do? Really?
And at one point, I could have sworn you said that you didn't feel comfortable doing the interview on camera.
Yes.
And did you do that because you didn't want to be visibly promoted on television, or what? How did that?
So the side of that, and I didn't want to be on camera for two main reasons. I never wanted to do an interview and get famous. I never wanted any attention, per se, famous attention. I don't care about the negative side of it. I'm doing what I think is right.
He never wanted to do an interview to get famous. That's unique.
I never wanted any positive attention, let's say. All I wanted to be is for my guys to know that I had their back and I got Nolan's back. And I didn't want the investigation on, especially on social media side, I guess, and with Ben Crump and their legal team, to go down the wrong path at all. That was my sole purpose, is to tell the truth and to clear up lies. When I talked to ABC, they wanted to do an in-person interview, and I told them no. I told them no because I'm getting death threats, and I don't like them. It is what it is. I'm not putting myself out there any more than I need to, and I'm not sitting behind a camera and so for somebody to watch me talk about my best friend. And I told him, I was like, if you want to do an article, it's okay. I'll talk and you can do the article on that side of it. I never originally wanted to go on TV, period. He convinced me into only using my voice, which now I regret, and I wish I would have just sat in front of a camera so you can visibly see the cuts. But they manipulated that interview pretty well.
I can believe that. Mainstream media, they do that all the time. They'll tell you one thing, and next thing you know, you have a hit piece.
They made it sound a lot worse. And I know for a fact, most of that interview, you can't understand me because I was in tears the entire time talking about it. When he asked me about...
I haven't seen one person cry yet.
Nolan's death. And he put it if you listen to it carefully, he cuts it and I just say die. Nobody wants to see him die. I don't talk like that, man. That's not what I said. I did say died during at one point in our interview, but I said we didn't want to see his life being taken from us, period. They didn't put that. They twisted some things around and they made...
Thank you, Rebuilt Girl. Thank you guys for all subscribing to the channel too and hitting the likes. Thanks for the support.
They almost made a different narrative to where it's like now people are coming out and lying. And it's like, man, no.
Yeah,
and
I was wondering if you were gonna. I remember I was like, I could have sworn he said he didn't want to be on camera, and they put your picture all over the news. I mean, how did you feel about it?
By the way, next week I'll be in court for Carmelo Anthony, and then 2 weeks after that I'll be in court for Luigi Mangione. His trial starts here in New York in September.
About that, was that something that you were okay with them doing that, or?
I kind of accepted it. I accepted it because I gave Rolling Stone permission to do it. So I know that's where they probably got that original photo of me and him standing next to each other.
But still, that's kind of weird that you tell them, oh, I don't want to, even if you gave you the permission with Rolling Stones, you go, I don't want to be on camera. And they put your picture up there on camera anyway.
I agree. It is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's odd, but generally speaking, man, like, I'm worried about my family's safety, but I have no regrets in what I've done and what I've said. Not one. I sleep better at night now that I've spoken up and I felt like I've done my part of the good, and I'm willing to help any other time if anything else pops up that I can't help with. And I genuinely just want the truth to be heard about it all. And it kills me and it breaks my heart that my best friends are going through this. Like, this is at home. This isn't something I'm just watching through a screen, listening to you talk about it or listening to somebody else talk about it. I'm living this.
So I have to fly to Dallas for Carmelo Anthony. I have to fly to London for Chris Brown. I was at Chris Brown's concert Saturday night, but I'll be at his court case where he's about to be sentenced in London in October. So I'll be all the way out there. And he's facing up to 3 years, and they said it's likely he could get some time. So definitely I have a lot of cases happening. I'm also good friends with Brian Steele. So I will be attending Little Dirk's trial a little bit. I did say I would do that.
I'm getting the calls from my buddies crying, asking me how I'm not scared out of my mind. How am I okay dealing with all this?
So one thing that kind of stood out to me, there was a big contradiction on television, was you said in your interview that you were really, really good friends with Nolan, his best friend. Nolan's mother said on television that as if she don't even know you and she don't know who you are, and you're definitely not, at least is what she alluded to, you're definitely not his best friend. So what's the truth in that? And how did that affect you? How did that make you feel?
So, yeah, so she originally touched and she said that we weren't childhood best friends. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. I moved to Ocean Springs in 9th grade. I met Nolan in 9th grade, as I've stated in my Rolling Stone interview. Nolan was my best friend, though. She can believe it or not, that was my best friend. No, me and her never had a sit-down, in-depth conversation like me and you're having now. It was always, hey, how are you doing? I've been to her house multiple times. I've taken Nolan to school multiple times. I've left my vehicle at her house multiple times, even including the new vehicle I just got. That's gotten left at her house for 2 days. And I just got it. I haven't even had it for 4 months. My vehicle before that stayed at her house for almost a week. Me and her son went on trips together. We went to Florida for spring break together. You don't know me? I'm in all these homecoming and prom photos as our whole friend group. Me and Nolan are standing next to each other. You don't know me. Nolan's last name is Wells. My last name at one point in time was Walker. We were by each other in the alphabet when we graduated. Man, that's mind-boggling. It's insane. Me and Nolan.
That's deep, right?
Have multiple.
Thank you, Laughing Disco. Thank you, Gianna. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate you guys.
Classes together. Me and Nolan has always stayed tight. Nolan has always known that he could call me whatever. And
guys, I'm considering going down to Mississippi to do a walkthrough tour. If anybody's interested in seeing that, let me know in the audience and I'll pull that off. So I would just basically go down and retrace Nolan's every step of the way, similar to what Officer Tatum did, but I'm going to go look for cameras. I'm going to go from a different angle. So more than likely I'll do that. I'm thinking about doing it this week. So let's see if I get enough people tuning in, I would do that. All right. Thank you.
Mentioned I got a new phone number 2 months ago. Nolan was the only friend
and no, I'm not going alone, by the way,
that had my phone number out of the friend group. And I still call them my best friends, but we communicate on other social medias. But it's like, Nolan called me on the day to meet up with me on the 4th out there, but we weren't good friends. We weren't close friends. And when I say best friend, man, I don't want to take away anybody, how close they were to Nolan. But when I think of a best friend, I think of Nolan. Somebody I can call, somebody that I've stayed up and I've cried to. That was one of my best friends, genuinely speaking. She might not think it. That's okay. Me and Nolan knows where we stand with each other. And period. And Nolan knows that.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. With interviewing with me, right? We came out here to Mississippi We just want to give the boys a voice, give you guys a voice. And I'd say all the other outlets that you could have spoken to, why do you feel that you wanted to talk to me tonight?
Honestly, I'm a big fan. I know when I look at news articles, big news articles, obviously, and then I know you've talked on them, I make sure I watch the full thread of videos. I think our morals align alike. And when we spoke off camera, like, it didn't seem like you were out here like another news reporter that just wanted the next big story. Like you just said, it's like you genuinely wanted us to have a platform to be.
Man, this guy, he is, he's, this is interesting.
Able to speak and be able to tell the truth. And that's what I like. And
he's very well spoken, though. I will give him that, though.
I know, I don't know, talking to Warren and knowing Miss Katie and being close to them and them trusting you was like, okay, I can sit down, I can have this conversation and we can go through it and we can have the interview on camera and people can see me, really, I guess you could say, and talk about it and whatnot.
I appreciate that. I really do. And my last question, with all this stuff going on, and you knew Nolan very well, what do you think how Nolan would feel about how this all has transpired with Benjamin Crump, with, the statements from his mom, with the accusations against you and his other friends? How would you think he would address this or feel about this?
Well, I know people like to use a term, they would turn over in his grave. If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave.
Not yet.
Right now, he would. No doubt. Nolan would be livid is an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way at all. I think he would be really upset.
Jazzy, I don't think you were put on timeout. That wouldn't make sense.
With his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he generally would. I don't think he wouldn't support it. I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it. I think he would want the truth and he would search for answers, but he wouldn't go about it like this. He wouldn't let us get dogged out like this. If Nolan could have spoke up, he would have already said something about our friend group and saying, yo, y'all are on the wrong path. Generally speaking, he would be mad. Like, he would be mad. And I don't understand how people don't see that and how people are just okay with even some of his, I guess you could say.
Okay, so here's your recap. So today we've had 2 shows. Number one, we had 3 shows. We had Sophie's World on, talking about her experience with multiple sclerosis and how she was basically, she's permanent. What do you call it? I'm so tired today now. Permanent remission, I believe that's what you call it. Okay, so that's good for her. She gave a great story, so go back and check out that live. Then we had criminal defense attorney Calvin Johnson on. We talked about Nolan Wells. And now we're having a show in regards to the Friends of Color. We're looking at all of their statements just to see how it compares, because a lot of people are saying, oh, the white guys. So today we're focusing on just to see what points stick and what don't. And basically that's it. So that's all you missed. It's worth going back to check out the entire show, though. We brought out some good points.
The other best friends, man, how they were coming out and how they're acting behind it. It's like, man, Nolan was never like that. Nolan was an aggressive, threatening person. Don't get me wrong, Nolan would defend himself if he needed to defend himself. Nolan was loving and kind. Nolan was the furthest thing from a fight. Furthest thing from a fight. And I remember personally, I was in a heated argument and Nolan comes up, crack a joke, and I'm like, bro, it's not even worth it. Like, come on. And it's like, that just shows his character wouldn't be like this. I know he wouldn't want people chanting at his funeral. I know that for a fact. I know nobody would want me or the rest of our friends to get dragged through like this. I know he would want all of us to feel comfortable going to that funeral, and all of us didn't because we're scared. And that says a lot. That says a lot. We're scared to go in our own town to who we called our best friend.
Yeah, they were victimized. That's what happened.
We're all over his socials, man. Like, I don't know how you're discrediting and thinking that we could have hurt him. We could have known somebody that hurt him. Because like I told everybody, I would put myself in whatever position he was in 100 times before I let him pass away. And I mean that. I genuinely mean that. That dude, he was so loving and so kind.
He seems emotional about it.
It's just wild. It's crazy. It's wild and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having the courage, man, to come down here and talk to us, give us, your point of view. And I say this, like I said to Warren, man, my whole objective is that, man, I was watching an injustice happen before my eyes. And an injustice meaning that the other side wasn't presented. And people that don't live here came into this town and shook it up, brought racism in it. And based on everybody's statement that I hear about Nolan, is that they didn't represent what he stood for.
No.
And they bastardized his character, in my opinion, this is my opinion, to make money and build a GoFundMe instead of trying to actually get to the bottom of what happened to him. And none of this have I seen any of the activists pursue what actually happened. There somebody could have seen something, and instead they're going after dead ends simply because of race, simply because of convenience, instead of pursuing any other lead or any other notion of somebody knowing what happened to Nolan. So I thank you for coming out here, man.
Well, this was so amazing, right? I enjoyed going through this with you guys today in regards to Nolan. I want to show you guys one other thing since we're here, right? I want to get into this report just a little bit. Let me put it back up for you guys here. All right. So this is the United Cajun Navy's report. We're going to go through this more tomorrow night, but I want to point out a couple of things. This report, basically, they don't stand on gold and say, listen, this proves that Nolan was seen on the island after 4:30. Or they typically say, I think the gap is at 3:00. When we go through this tomorrow, you'll get a chance to see it. But quite frankly, the last time that we have any type of indication of Nolan is when Warren says in the video, he says at 4:30, they told Nolan to get on the boat, right? A friend said, Nolan, get the F on the boat. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Remember that? So really 4:30 is the last time there's any sighting of Nolan. Did you guys realize that? Maybe you follow so many different people, or you just hear so much information. But tomorrow night when I break down this PDF, this whole, they call it a working analytical report, I'm going to show you that there's a key moment in this report that they say Nolan was seen at 4:50. Okay, at 4:50. The other times that he's supposedly seen, I'm going to show that to you now too. We're just going to touch on a few things. We're going to get in depth tomorrow as I show you some more new information. Tonight, I think I went easy because I just wanted to listen to what these guys of color, we're just looking at the other side because everybody keeps saying, oh, the white guys, or, so I said, okay, let's listen to them. I think we learned a lot tonight by putting what they said together. It really opened up my eyes a lot. Okay. So you have this report here, just like I showed you the exchange on Facebook of two women that were basically trying to say, listen, we saw Nolan at 4:01. This is when I posted the Snapchat. I went through that extensively today. But in this part of the report, we went through this. This guy named Matthew, he tried to substantiate, and again, I'm going to go through this tomorrow. He tried to say, listen, at 5 o'clock there was a fight, and then a boat took off really fast. Then the lady, because they're inside of this group that I actually went to investigate myself, Horn Island, on Facebook. But this lady here, she pushed back and really destroyed this 5 o'clock situation. Ultimately, there's nothing here at 5 o'clock to show that Nolan was there. The key point, in which I've gone over this during this show, is here. They said that this was Nolan. This person here in the blue shorts. I've shown it on this channel several times that this is actually a female, but this is the closest, this is the only solid time that they have Nolan on the island. But unfortunately, Nolan is not a female wearing a bikini top. Okay, so that's a real big problem. There's no sighting of Nolan after 4:30, and that 4:30 is shaky because that's what Warren says. But we don't have any of these other friends on the boat stating that he was on the boat at that time. You see here, that photo I just showed you on page 14, right? I just showed you that on page 14. When you blow it up, this is a female. You can see she has on a bikini top that's gold. You can see the strap going around her shoulder. You can see the white in her bikini top. You can see that her shorts are much darker than the shorts that Nolan was wearing that day. All right, but Nolan would not have a reason to have on a bikini top. But here's the issue that we have when it comes to these cases, right? Because I go to court and I cover so many cases, right? This right here hurts my heart though, because what'll happen is they'll put this out in the actual report and they say, well, we don't know if this was Nolan or not. But you know what? I went on Facebook today. So many people are saying Nolan's seen at 450. The report said they don't even know anything about Nolan, but people are saying at 450 he was seen. No, he wasn't. This is a female. This is a real big problem with these cases. I go to court religiously. I sit in court every day. I was in court with Donald Trump. You know, I was in court. The current president would walk past me in court, like really close. We all got kicked out of the courtroom because one of his attorneys, I think his name was Costello. Well, no, he wasn't an attorney, but Rudy Giuliani had tried to set up a back channel with this Long Island attorney. He was going back and forth with the judge. The judge says, everybody get out of the courtroom. So I was standing right there, right close to the president. But this happened. His case went on, Diddy's case. So I go to all these cases. The issue is, though, sometimes with the media, it doesn't even have to be a real fact. But the fact that the media says, let me tell you what happened with Carmelo Anthony, right? I know people get all in their whatever when I talk about Carmelo. I'm sitting in Carmelo's trial every day for I hear all the witnesses, all of these teens come in. And when they have the actual evidence from the case, they show us actually the video. I think it's the video expert. They put up the knife that was used or the multi-purpose tool. So the prosecution says knife. The defense says multi-purpose tool. At any rate, the blade was 3.5 inches. Okay. Well, Fox News says it's 5 inches. So I'm in court. But because Fox News say the blade was 5 inches, when I come out of court and I say, hey, I was in court today and this blade was 3.5 inches, people says, oh, shut your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. Fox News said it was 5 inches. You see how that works? So now I have to sit here and debate if I want to keep going back and forth with people. Then guess what? They don't even put out the transcripts yet in full. So now I can't even say to my crowd, listen, these are the transcripts. Boom. Right? See how this thing works about misinformation. A lot of times it comes from the mainstream media. Okay? And that's a real big problem. Nancy Grace, as much as I enjoy her working in regards to Nolan Wells' case, I think she's doing a great job. But when it came to Carmelo, she said that the jurors had 3 Hispanics. I sat in court. It was only one female, Hispanic, lady. That's it, right? I could tell you the makeup of the jurors, but because Nancy Grace says 3 Hispanics, when I come forward and I tell you guys, hey, listen, only 1 Hispanic on his jury. Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Nancy Grace said, you see what I'm saying? You see, this becomes a real big problem. So I'm starting to see it a lot when it comes to Nolan Wells' case, because that report came out by the United Cajun Navy. He went on Nancy Grace. I showed it to you. He says, well, Nancy, we don't know. We can't say, well, this is no shot at them. Don't put it out if it's not. If you don't know, in my experience, I say it's probably better to stay away from it, because people tend to run with it. And once they get this kick in their head about, this is Nolan at 450, when you come back and you show them, listen, this is not Nolan, this is a female, people get all up in their arms. Oh, no, that's not a female. Oh, you're wrong. Oh, that's AI you're using. No, I enhance what they provided. Okay, we could do the demonstration tomorrow, and I'll show you exactly how all you have to do is enhance it, and this what they call Nolan turns into a woman that has on a bikini top. You get my drift, right? Do I have to explain to you the details of a woman? No, it's not necessary, okay? So anyway, we had a long project today. We had criminal defense attorney Calvin Johnson on. He broke it down for us nicely. Tomorrow night, we have a different attorney out of Florida, new attorney that's going to be attending tomorrow night. He is going to talk about the standpoint of how he doesn't think the boys will be charged with anything. Okay, so it'll be interesting to get a different perspective on this case, because here at Watching the World, we try to, get all these different variations of ideas and come to a reasonable conclusion about what could happen. I think there's so much to learn from all different types of people. And I've learned that tremendously when I travel a lot. I just came back from Egypt, and I just came back from Turkey. I actually go back soon. So you start to realize there's so many different perspectives in this thing we call the world. But a lot of times we look at life only through the lens of our experiences in life, and we think that everybody else needs to meet what our expectations are. And we're far, far, far wrong with that, right? Right? When I covered Nancy Guthrie's case, I was so amazed to find out that sometimes she would leave her back door open. That's what the neighbors say. Sometimes people leave their doors open in that neighborhood. I say, you don't do that in New York, right? I find that hard to believe. Somebody told me she left her doors open. I was like, well, why would a lady, leave her doors open, right? But then I talked to the neighbor, and the neighbor says, my parents they lived here 50 years. They wouldn't lock their doors either. We trust the neighborhood. In 50 years, no one ever did anything. And then one day, someone rolls into Nancy Guthrie's house, takes her out of bed, barefoot, kidnap her. Right? There's a first time for everything. But just listening and going by my experience in life, I became blinded to what other people do. And that's why I was so shocked to find out these people don't lock their doors. I'm like, man, you guys are already living in paradise, right? What is this all about? But anyway, these are just some examples of the point I was trying to make. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We had a great night. I want to say how much I appreciate the fact that Officer Tatum was able to get us this valuable information, because imagine if he didn't put this information out, right? We would not have a clue. We would not have a clue. A lot of us would still be thinking that Nolan just went to the island with 3 white boys. That's what everybody say, right? But now we get a chance to understand and hear and understand that there's thousands of people on that island that day. More videos came out. We get a new perspective, but it still doesn't solve the problem. And you know what the problem is? You guys know where I'm going before I close, right? I can't help myself, right? It is what it is. This is where I'm going. They were at the island. by the sand, right? By the shore, right? I've shown you several times with Warren. Warren said clearly they were towed out a quarter of a mile by Bart. Okay. He also said that at 4:30, but we know that from the GPS at 4:31, that's when they left, just a minute difference. But he says that Nolan refused to go. He wanted to stay behind on the island, but he didn't ask for his phone. Why didn't he ask for his phone? Well, now they're saying he was so intoxicated. But the coach, right? According to the coach saw him at 3:00, just an hour and a half before. And he did not say the same thing about him being so intoxicated. Why? We want to know, right? We need to know. Nolan doesn't take his phone when Warren says clearly there's at least one bar typically on the island. He says you can't upload information, but you can make a call. So if I'm going to stay behind, why wouldn't I take my phone? That's all. We're just asking questions, right? At the least, right? You can call. Maybe he makes his payments. Nowadays, this generation, everybody wants to make their payments with their cell phones, okay? A lot of old school people don't want to do that. I know people that still write checks and, they're just not used to this new modern age. But here's the point. Warren says that Nolan was towed out. I'm sorry. Warren said that they were towed out a quarter of a mile. Nolan stayed behind on the island. The girl said, well, we thought that Nolan got back on the boat. Discrepancy. He didn't take his phone. Why? Right? The boat is sinking. Why would you leave your phone on a sinking boat? Who would do that? Right? Right? Who would do that? But anyway, get back to the point. They were towed out a quarter of a mile. Nolan is back on the island. Why are people yelling, Nolan, is he dead? Don't dive. All this stuff. Why would they do that? I need a very intelligent person to explain and to make somebody a believer. We're living in a world where people are going to tell you you're not hearing what you heard. Yeah, that's what they say. You're crazy. I was watching today on one of the biggest networks there is. He had a professional on, and he actually played the enhanced video that said, and it was saying things like, "Is he dead?" And the girl, whatever, right? Oh, check his chest, and all of this was being said. And so he asked the professional, "Listen, what do we make of this?" Right? Because originally, when they put out the audio, they put it out without that beginning part where you hear the music from the whole music. And in the background, that's where you hear all the chaos, right? But you don't really need that to establish that Nolan's name is actually on the original video. You could cut it all you want to. Nolan's name is being said beyond, right? Allegedly, right? Oh, it's crazy life we live. Anyway, this professional sat there. He says, the guy asked him, "Hey, man, what do you make of?" They played, "Is he dead?" They played all that chaos, right? He says, "Well, we don't know if the video is authentic." But he moved on. He never addressed what he heard. The guy proceeded to tell him, "Listen, this came from the MDMR, right?" He don't address that. Why? How can you not address it? See, when we pull it up, right? We pull it up right from the local news station, which clearly got it from the MDMR. Well, could someone have tampered with it? There's always a possibility, but now you're taking yourself into the weeds. Let me explain why, and then I'll go. This is a real big problem, and I'm going to give you some good advice here. A lot of people are emotionally and very passionately attached to Nolan Wells' case because they know of how life works sometimes. A lot of people have stories in their family that seem a little bit off too, right? So a lot of times people see themselves in individuals like Nolan. But at first, you could probably go with the narrative that Nolan accidentally died, whatever it could have been, right? You don't even need Ben Crump. Take him out of the picture. Ben Crump didn't come out with the audio. If you notice, when he gave his press conference, he said, we're having the audio evaluated by professionals, right? But here's the problem. People who live and they eat and they walk and they talk and they live just like you, thousands, legions of people have heard some questionable activity in the back of that audio. Is he dead? Right? Nolan, no. They heard that, right? People, you hear what you hear. So now it sets the stage that if you come back and say, oh, there's no there, I fear what that's going to look like in reality, right? Because now you're setting the stage to where, wait a minute, you mean something like this can happen and nothing's going to happen? This is a problem, man. This is the biggest problem I've seen in my life. I'm trying to tell you, this is a real problem, you know? And for people to come and tell you, you're crazy, you're not hearing that. You're hearing AI, somebody's going to say, damn AI. You know, I'm going the easier route of what I could have said, right? This is a real big problem, right? Because people want to know. People are waiting on that autopsy. They're waiting on the grand jury. And if you come up empty, I don't know what that's going to spell, right? Because people, I believe, they feel like we've come a long way in life, right? I don't need to explain all that. And I think this case is a defining moment. I just hope that this case show that 2026 is all about justice. Justice for Nolan Wells. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks.
Different voices, but the same song. Loving a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the theme remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. The colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might.